Yeah, once you find out more, because you can be educated by tuning into the Tom Bernard Show because it's so educational.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Listening to us is the equivalent of getting a doctorate.
I mean, NPR called me and said, "Can we put your show up on our network?" And I said, "Nah, I don't think so.
Nah.
I'm good. I'm with the Hubbards, and I'm taken care of. Everything will be good. It'll be magnificent. You know what I'm saying?"
Yep.
Right? Okay, you know what? I did turn a corner this morning. I woke up and I slept okay last night. Not really great. I'm just going through some, different things that I'm thinking about and blah, blah, blah. And I wake up and I suppose maybe a year or two ago, I would have been very pissed off about this. But now I sit back and laugh at how, how I've been talking to you guys for about 10 months now about how stupid people have gotten.
Mm-hmm.
The education system in America is a complete, and particularly the college system, is a complete and utter disaster because all they teach is stupidity. I mean, the fact that people can lock in so hard to one political view that they actually hate people who don't agree with them. How crazy is that?
Yeah, that's insane.
I mean, I will sit here and tell you, I've been working with the three of you now for, 7, 8, 9 months, depending, 10 months, something like that. I have no idea what your political views are. I think a couple of you are lean a little bit left, and another one's probably pretty centrist. And if I'm centrist, I lean a very little bit right on that deal. But we don't talk about that a whole lot because, you got your views, I got my views, and who gives a shit, right?
Yeah, you did call me a socialist once.
You are a socialist, that's true. I forgot. And now it's a communist.
Communist, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Well, you know what? I actually asked Putin for his okay to call you a communist. He said, "Oh, that's very accurate."
Yeah.
So even Biden, I mean, not Biden, but Putin. Ooh, Putin and Biden, that's pretty close when you think of it.
Yeah.
But the one that they came, see, I think back in the day, a couple of years ago, this would have pissed me off to no end, but it's gotten so incredibly stupid and ridiculous. Did you see what the Boston mayor did?
I did not.
The mayor of Boston. You ready for this? Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, who, by the way, is married to a white guy. I'd like to throw that out on the front. She's Asian, married to a honky, sent out invitations. This is the mayor of Boston, sent out invitations to all of her constituents, or not the constituents, but people who work with her and for her and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I'll read it to you. Boston mayor under fire for no whites Christmas party. It says right in the invitation that white people are not allowed or invited.
Is there any chance this is being misinterpreted as like, don't wear a white shirt? Because I know there's like white parties like that. No?
Nope. How insane are you? I mean, your own husband's a honky. Why would you do something like that? In other words, he's the biggest sugar tit pussy in the world. And by the way, don't call me and say, you shouldn't use that word as derogatory toward women. No, it is not. Pussy is short for pusillanimous, which means coward.
Yeah, but it's not well known as that. So
I don't care. I don't give a rat's ass if people are stupid. That's what the word means.
You need to dumb it down for us, sir.
Well, and also, pussies are very strong. They birth children. Okay, yeah. I'm not birthing a child.
Also, I want one of you to get. Yeah, I want you to get kicked in the crotch, Tevin. I want me to get kicked in the crotch, and I want to see who reacts less.
I don't want to hurt. What do you?
My pussy is strong.
Oh,
well, the problem is in that it's not fair because Tevin and I, our areas down there are so huge that they're easy to hit.
Yeah, but surface areas wise, you don't have to take on that much.
So looking. Catherine, I was talking to Catherine this morning about this, who, by the way, is a honky, so she couldn't go to the Boston mayor's party because she's white, even though her husband's white, too. I still don't understand why your husband go, are you out of your mind? He must be the biggest sugar tit ever born.
1,000%. And I don't want to, if she is actually throwing, which it sounds like she is an all-white, a non-white party, I don't want to go to that. Anytime there's a spot where somebody is not allowed, I don't want to go. Like, whether it's all one race or another, like, come on, ain't you married to a white guy? Like, you can't. Yeah.
Don't you think this is all about ass kissing?
Yeah, or I don't know, maybe I would say best case scenario, she was just trying to get some sort of reaction, but I can't see anything positive out of getting a reaction like this from people.
Well, now she's kind of apologizing for it. But by the
Okay.
way, in her apology, it still says you're not invited. Even in the apology, she says, sorry, but white people are not invited. It's like, what in the hell? It's laughable. I'm not angry about it in the least. You are such imbeciles now across this world, particularly in this country. People have gotten so incredibly stupid with their politics. Understand something. If you treat me poorly because I'm a white person, you're a racist asshole. But if you heap praise on me for no reason, you're also a racist asshole.
Yeah. And if she really didn't want white people at her party, just send the invite to people that aren't white.
Well, that'd be kind of...
Like, why would you send it to everybody?
Yeah.
Tell the
Also, where are you going to get all your mayo appetizers? You're welcome.
Yeah. What about that?
Think about like how great the dance floor is going to be though at this party.
So much rhythm.
No, that's the thing. I do want to go to this party. That's the problem. They got me wanting. I'll be looking from the window.
You can't go. Sorry, you're a
man.
honky. You're out. By the way, I am going to have a holiday party. There are no women or black men or people that look like professional wrestlers involved. So the three of you can't come.
I don't even want to go to that.
You look like a professional wrestler.
Okay. All right.
What's a compliment?
Yeah.
What was that guy's name again? Man Mountain something. He had long hair and a beard just like you. What's his name? Man Mountain? I can't remember his name though.
There's a guy named Otis right now. I've gotten that a couple times.
Otis, my man. I still love that. One of my favorites of all time. But look, look, we cannot take this stuff seriously and get pissed off about this. We've had enough of it. Everybody is a moron now, and they puke up their hatred toward everybody. I wouldn't waste 1 minute hating anybody. It takes too much of my energy, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I literally don't hate anyone. I don't like some people. I wouldn't want to spend 2 minutes with some people. You know, a good example of that is Daniel Tosh after his ass kissing yesterday. Did you see that deal?
No.
Oh, God, what an ass kissing puke.
He has a podcast now. It's fine. I mean, it's like one of those things where he has enough money. He doesn't have to do anything. He did 10 years of Tosh.0. He also, while he was doing that, he was touring. That man is like not exactly relatable.
No, there was always something about him where I was I don't know that you're necessarily a bad person, but there's just something off where I wouldn't want to hang out with you.
Like he's wired mentally a different way that I'm like,
yes,
socially, I don't think we could connect in a conversation.
No,
you know.
Oh, God. Well, he wants cancel culture. I mean, he is embracing and endorsing cancel culture now.
His whole career was built off of things that would probably get him canceled today.
Exactly. But now that he's done with that, now it's okay to cancel people for the shit that he did, which, by the way, wasn't funny in the least.
No.
I thought the first season was good, but after that, it was terrible.
Yeah.
We had him in studio over it. Were you there at the Q when we had him over there? What an arrogant asshole that man is. He showed up and it was like he was being put out by endorsing his show on the highest rated morning show in the country.
Damn.
What a jerk. You know, he's one of those cute guys who thinks he's funny and he's not, but people embrace it. Hey, look, he's very successful. God bless you. This is America. Glad to hear it. I'm not pissed off at him because of his success. He's just a prick, you know. And now he's Mr. Cancel Culture. And I don't know. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I implore you, stop getting pissed off about this stuff because they want you to be pissed off about this stuff. That's what they're looking for, is you to be unsettled and angry. Do the exact opposite and go, you're a moron.
Yeah.
There you go. You know, you're a stupid bastard who has no idea what you're talking about. So good for you. Do I hate you? No. I wouldn't waste 1 minute hating you. It's too much energy.
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you three? I said this early this morning. I said no more sports people on the Tom Barnard show.
Get them out of here.
Very
See you later.
clearly.
Bye. See ya. Bye.
This is our new Hollywood reporter, Judd Zoltan.
Yeah.
Hollywood reporter Judd Zoltan.
Live on the red carpet. What are you wearing?
I like that.
I love it. I love it.
Did you see what the Boston mayor did? The mayor of Boston, woman, her name is Michelle Wu, sent out an invitation to the Christmas party, and on the invitation it says, no whites allowed. And her husband's white, by the way.
Oh my God. Oh,
I'm
no, I
not
did
making
not
that
see
up. That's a true
I
story.
did not see that. So who were you talking about before? Who's a miserable prick when I
Daniel
jumped on?
Tosh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, you ever
I've
met
heard
him?
him. No.
No.
I barely know. I know the name, but I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I can
Familiar.
understand. Again, do I hate him? No, I don't hate him. The first season I thought was pretty good. It's just he's nowhere near as funny as he thinks he is. He's one of those guys. You know?
Oh, yeah, those are not good. Those guys are those people are the worst because they they think they're great, and it's like, yeah, you're not, you're okay, but you're not great.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being okay. Look, I would not waste my time on adoring someone to the point that it's obnoxious or hating someone to the nth degree. Who cares? I'm not going to waste my life on hating you. Forget it. Right?
Well, I hate certain players from my youth, probably. So
yeah, but that's not a true hatred. That's just
that's sports hate.
Yeah, that's sports hate. That's totally different. You're absolutely right.
Fair enough.
But here's what I love. Let's take one of the most wonderful times of the year, Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all of that great stuff. Let's piss everybody off by being a total moron. And look at her sugar tit husband. He knew his Asian wife. She's Asian, by the way, and her husband's white, and he's all for it. No whites.
I wonder if she meant to send out like her divorce notice, like no whites. Maybe that's what it was. And got mixed up in the Christmas invitation.
Think about that action.
Thinking about this though, to be honest, if my wife was throwing a party and told me I can't go, so like that night I have to be on my sweatpants on the couch watching TV. I might be all for this.
That is a good point.
Judd, you are you and my husband have the same motivations all the time, how to get out of social situations that are literally meant to be so much fun. Right. But like it's just so funny when I hear you scheming, I go, okay, Justin Arneson. All right.
Brittany, I'm 54 though. Like I've done my parties and stuff. If there's an excuse not to, you know what? It's not the social situation for me personally. I don't love that, but that's fine. As it is the threat of having to dress up.
Oh, I see. So and that's one rule we do have at the Arneson household is wear exactly what you want whenever. Like I don't care. But yeah, that's all my husband wants to do is not go to parties all the time.
I just like that Judd is thinking the guy was, as his wife is sending out the invitations, he's like, wait a second, maybe you should put no whites allowed.
There you go. No, I tell you flat out, I've never been a guy that went to parties. Like in grade school, that kind of thing. Yeah. But I was never one to go to bars. Every time I went into a bar, some guy wanted to fight. Every time. It's like, oh God, get away from me. Just leave me alone for Christ's sake. Oh, I'm gonna fight the TB. Oh,
well, and back in the day, like Tom, you've talked about this before, because of the weightlifting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you had every Yahoo drunk guy who thought, I'm going to make an example of this guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can I tell you my favorite story along that line? I was at a bar one time. It was actually I won't say where it was because it's a very famous bar. We're sitting there and there's this like littler guy, he's like maybe, I don't know, whatever little is. He's not a very big guy. And he's sitting right next, one stool over from a guy at the bar who's about 6'2", probably weighs about 240 and is ripped, right? Mm-hmm. The little guy starts chirping at him. Suppose you think you're a tough guy, huh? He goes, look, just leave me alone. I do not think I'm a tough guy. I'm here to have a couple of beers and I'm going to go home. Just leave me alone, will you? No. You scared of me? Is that the problem? You afraid of me? And I'm watching this. I'm going, oh, this cannot end good. After about 3 minutes into, you scared of me? Is that what it is? He backhanded the guy off. Oh, first he said, yeah, just don't mess with dynamite, asshole. Like that. The big guy backhanded him in the face, knocked him on the ground, looked at him and goes, blow up, mother effer. If you're so dynamite. Don't you? I hate that about going to bars. Everybody's a tough guy.
Yeah. Everybody's a tough guy. And like you're saying, Tom, if you lift weights or you're somebody that's a little bit bigger than the average person, now you've turned into this trophy buck that they want to take down and I'm going to knock you down a few pegs. Like, no, sir, I'm just here to eat this burger, sit at the bar, have a good time. go about your business somewhere else.
I had a really good friend, Lyle. Lyle died, unfortunately, very young. But Lyle was about 6'5", probably weighed about 320. Gigantic. Every time we went to a bar, somebody wanted to fight him. Every time. It's like, and sometimes it ended up in a fight that lasted about 30 seconds, but not very often because Lyle tried to avoid it at all costs. But yeah, he was a perfect target for them because he was so gigantic. They thought, well, if I could somehow sneak a punch in and knock him out, I'd be a tough guy. I don't know. I don't get this whole situation. But just once again, Judd, I'm glad you showed up to do the sports because I had no Brittany, AJ, or Tevin invitation that I sent out. So they can't be on the show while you're on. So they can just look at it, but they can't talk. What do you think?
No, I hate that idea.
I hate that idea.
No, I want him to talk, especially Brittany when she comments on something I say about how she knows I'm scheming because she's usually right about that.
What are you scheming right now? I'd love to hear your scheme.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like when I hear about the fact that you can't go to a party, I don't think, oh my God, I'm not being invited. It's unfair. I'm thinking this sounds like a glorious out. Like I've got a built-in excuse for why I can't go.
No question about it. But again, like I said, I'll close with this. This asshole in Boston, the mayor of Boston, one of my favorite cities in America, wants to be a racist prick, even though she's married to a honky. It doesn't piss me off. I have gone from being pissed off at the world to laughing in your face. You are so ridiculous now. I can't even get angry anymore. I think you're a moron and who should be laughed at. Correct?
Yes, absolutely. That's what the world is about now.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Politics and general things like as long as, and it's not funny if people are actively being hurt, clearly, but as far as just stupid decisions go, yes, that's what the world is now. It's become the sides are so divided that the irony and that what's funny about it has become so clear. But Boston's a curious case because, Tom, as you know, Boston has been one of the most racist cities
of all time
forever. The Red Sox were the last team to have a black player, Pumpsy Green.
Yep. There you go. Look at Tevin. Perry Doby, man.
Right. Because we were talking about tough guys earlier. The NBA right now is filled with tough guys or wannabe tough guys.
Oh,
Draymond Green, Judd, I'm sure that you've heard, suspended indefinitely after he more or less attempted to assault somebody on the court. And then yesterday we had Giannis, who is, running down, chasing people down the tunnel because they took the basketball and he wants to make sure it's the same ball coming back. What's going on, Judd?
How ridiculous was that? So Giannis scores 62, 63 last night against the Pacers. The Pacers, though, had a kid who scored his first basket. So the Pacers tried, they thought, and they were wrong about this, but they thought that they were taking the game ball, right? Mm-hmm. And so they take it, and instead of Giannis and the Bucks saying, hey, go get that ball back, they chase the Pacers down towards their locker room and in the hallway, I guess, have a kerfuffle. It doesn't sound like it was a fight, but it sounds like there was definitely some physicality to it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's a good question. I mean, Draymond's a simple one. He's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's, that happens in all sports. There's always one or two guys, right, that are always just sort of crazy. But why you don't tell your security guy, go get that basketball back. I just scored 60 plus points.
Right.
I have no bleeping clue. And what's weird is Giannis, for the most part, seems like a really decent guy. Right. So it's just weird. I don't know why you'd lose your head about that.
Yeah, it was, like you said, he's such a likable guy, and you never hear anything negative about him. And then it's to see him kind of go off of the deep end and throw a temper tantrum was very bizarre. But Draymond, he has Tom. So most players in any sport, as their career goes along, they acquire highlights, and we put them all in a reel, and you can watch him dunk on people, score touchdowns. Draymond has a 2-minute compilation of him either kicking men in the undersensitive area or punching people in the face. It is all he does is cause problems. Like, I think he should be suspended for the rest of the year, and we'll try this again next year. Just retire, Draymond.
And don't forget when he choked and punched his teammate at a practice,
Yes.
and then that video got leaked.
You can't forget about that.
Jordan Poole, right?
Yes, this guy's a lunatic.
Yeah.
Brittany. Before the show's over, punch AJ just for the hell of it.
Obviously, I want to be that team member. Though I want to make the rounds.
Well, you're wearing green, so that's good. You're already a Celtic.
Halfway there.
You're good to go.
And there was a former NBA player, Rasheed Wallace, who tried to explain what happened. And Rasheed Wallace was on the Malice in the Palace team, I believe, back in the day, that got into a big brawl with the fans. And he was like, yeah, Draymond used to hang out with us in the locker room, and we all liked to fight. And so that's why he is the way he is today.
Oh, my God. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
The Malice in the Palace. What a great name for,
I know.
for a huge brawl.
That I remember watching that on TV, and you just see the beer flying through the air, and then it's just absolute mayhem of people.
At Ron Artest, who was laying on the scorer's table, and Tom was also completely crazy. So a fan in Detroit threw a beer at the player on the Pacers at the time, who was easily the most nuts, and he shockingly went into the stands and beat the fan up, or tried to at least.
Yeah.
Only
the documentary on it.
Yes, it's really good. Yeah, really well done.
It makes you kind of understand, like, okay, the players, I'm on the player's side, because that fan was totally an asshole.
Honestly, sometimes you mess with crazy. Like, that documentary, if you would have told me the scenario, Tom, I would have been like, no fan deserves to get hit. It's just a game. And then you watch the doc and you're like, that mother trucker deserved to get punched in the face.
What did he just for throwing a beer, though?
Oh,
I mean, I wouldn't do that. There's nothing that's something I would do, but I don't know if I'd smack somebody in the head for it.
Yeah, there was a lot that kind of led up to it.
It was like a pressure cooker, and it was somebody who made a wrong choice with the wrong guy.
It was a nice throw, though, Tom. Like, it was spot on. He nailed. Yeah, because our test was, I'm not joking, our test was laying on the scorer's table. Like, it was already a heated thing, and so he like went to lay on the scorer's table, and the fan threw a beer and just stuck it right on our test. It was a nice arm.
Yeah, if he's still around, Vikings are looking for a quarterback. So
I like that. It works for me. I don't understand, but basketball more than any sport tends to have that. Thinking about that now, because the fans are sitting all around all the rest. I don't remember the NFL, which is a very violent sport. Not a lot of guys have ever gone into the stands in football, have they? Not that I can remember.
I don't think it's happened.
I don't think it
they've gone to the stands and yelled up into the stands. And in fact, there was just an incident of that happening. I know you're going to be shocked at an Eagles game, because Philadelphia fans are ordinarily so well behaved. But there have been brawls in hockey, and there was the famous one, the Bruins and Rangers in the 70s, where a bunch of Bruins went into the stands at the Garden at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And Mike Milbury beat a guy with his own loafer.
Just rips it off his foot.
I will watch that. I'm saving that.
I just watched, there's the New York Islanders documentary 30 for 30. I just watched that last night, and that clip of him in the stands he took the guy's shoe off and is beating him with his own shoe.
With his loafer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very 70s like shoe. It looked very comfortable.
Judd, who was the player that had he goes to the penalty box, and I want to say it was like a Buffalo fan is like yelling at him through the glass. He sprays him with a little water, and all of a sudden the guy jumps the glass into the penalty box, and then the player's just wailing on this guy.
I think that was Ty Domi, and I think the glass collapsed, and so he grabbed him and just beat the ever-loving bleep out of the guy. Yeah, that was a bad idea for that guy.
Yeah, no kidding.
One of my favorite things about sports, and it is one of my favorite things, the Philadelphia Eagles Stadium has a jail in it.
Oh, yeah.
That's true, by the way. They have a jail in the stadium.
And it's always full.
They used to have a judge to adjudicate the cases immediately. I think the judge aspect is now gone. But they used to literally, like, so if you got arrested and thrown in that jail, there was a judge there to fine you. Because I think if it was bad enough, you got taken to the pokey downtown, right?
Mhm.
But if it was a drunken incident in which I'm guessing people didn't get hurt, you literally were you left there with your ticket.
Damn.
At some point, you gotta go. Yes, we could put a jail in here, but also like we need to maybe get some higher quality people and hold ourselves to a little bit higher standard than just giving people a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, like be more proactive than reactive. Like we've accepted that this is going to happen. That's a rough one.
I actually had a friend in the late 80s after we tailgated at the old county stadium for, I think it was a Twins Brewers game, Tom. I did not know this at the time, but there was also a jail underneath home plate at the old county stadium. And after he, let's say, became ill in the stands in the heat of a Sunday afternoon ball game, he was thrown in that jail. But in that case, they actually then had to transport him to the city hall in downtown as well. So,
by the way, I'd like to point something out. You notice the lamp behind me is not turned on.
Mm-hmm.
And you do notice once in a while there's a flash of light in this room.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's lightning.
Oh, I thought you had like a TV on or something.
Nope, it's lightning. It's like, holy God. It's pretty bright. All right, Judd, another brilliant report, I thought.
Thank you very much. You guys are up to date on all the sports.
Okay, I'm having a party, but no white sportscasters can come.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Have fun. Have a great time.
I cannot with Judd.
Thanks, Judd.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye. Judd Zolgad, Score North, ladies and gentlemen. Love having those guys on the show. They got such a good attitude, don't you think?
He is
Judd and
him and Justin, they would not get along because they're too similar. They would
really?
both avoid, they would never hang out. Like they would both be like, let's just not. Okay. Love that for us.
It works. I don't see anywhere near, people don't fist fight like they used to, do they?
I don't know.
What?
I think we've aged out of it, Tom. I think we've aged out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's the people in their 20s that get in the fist fights?
Yeah, well, they end up shooting more often than not now. And so fights have kind of been, am I willing to die over the fact that you bumped into me out at this bar?
Right.
If I try to fight you, you probably are going to pull out a gun.
I had a friend that was Ron was his name. He was a bouncer. And, well, give me an example of what kind of bouncer he was. I was walking down Penn Avenue, just by West Broadway there. And I walk a little south on Penn Avenue, and I look over, and Ron is beating the piss out of some guy. And I mean, just working him over. And he looks over, he stops, holds the guy down, and goes, "Hey, Tommy, how's it going?" Like, what the hell? But he told me, "Tom, don't waste your time. You know, this learning how to do karate or punch people or whatever." He said, if you're going to get in an altercation, don't punch anybody. Run at them, grab their throat, and choke the piss out of them because they'll never recover from that. I'm like, okay, Ron.
That's a tip I wasn't needing, I don't think. Like, Tom, I'm at such a stage in my life that wherever I'm at, if somebody runs into me, we're both apologizing an insane amount.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. No matter what, like, that's the stage of life I'm at, is like somebody full on ran into me at a workout class when we were getting ready, you know, just like whatever. And I said, "I'm sorry." She goes, "No, I'm sorry." And I'm like, "We're both sorry." Right. This is the most Minnesota interaction ever. Like, it's just not happening. It's just
no. You can't be slugging it out with people anymore. Like back in the day, people slugged it out all the time. I don't see fist fights of course, I don't go in that kind of neighborhood anymore. That might have something to do with it, but I don't see fist fights on the street anymore like you used to when I was a kid.
Yeah, I just think you're hanging out in different places, but you're also at an age where, like, do you really want to, like, and me too. I don't mean like you because where you're at in your age. I mean, like, I don't want, if I had to go to urgent care because he got in a fight, I would be so freaking pissed.
I know.
Oh my God. I got mad at him because we tried to ice skate and he got hurt.
Oh, there you go. All right, we got to take a break, come back because Chris Eggert will join us right after this. You all, You've all helped support MyPillow when they're employees in these tough economic times. Mike Lindell knows this, continues to give back to listeners with great deals on the most popular products. Right now, you can save 50% on Queen and King pillows, the original My Slippers, and the MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. The proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you look for in a towel. The set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. Regular price $79.98. For a limited time, you can get this 6-pack towel set for only $39.99 with promo code TOM. That is a 50% savings. So go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to save 50% on the MyPillow 6-pack towel sets. That is just $39.99 for a set. This deal will not last long. Enter promo code TOM for this special and, of course, many more.
Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC has a mutiny on his hands. His sales crew said they've had it brooming snow off the new Buicks and GMCs, then warm them up, move them to plow, and repark them again. He even overheard them cooking up an alternative plan, a sale.
This is crazy. Why don't we just mark them down and sell them?
This is getting real old to be out on that lot in this sub-zero weather.
That's right. Everyone we sell is one less to broom.
I heard we're supposed to get 6 more inches tomorrow.
I'm 5'6". How am I supposed to get the snow off the roof of a pickup?
I'm Jim Paul, and well, car dealers do have all kinds of crazy sales. This idea probably makes more sense than most. There's plenty of inventory, so okay, the crew has decided.
So then it's official. The We Don't Want to Broom snow sale is in full force at Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings. Snowy inventory priced real right at valleycardealers.com.
The new Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
What do you think of that? I'm so happy to welcome back our longtime friend, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, his lovely wife. No doubt about it. Great people. I've known Steve, the owner, for many years, and I completely trust Sabre to keep my house comfortable. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. I love the team at Sabre because they're service experts. They're experienced NATE certified technicians, not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need when they need it and at the fair price, keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank. Give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you just like they've taken care of me and my entire family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced or just simply need a service call, all you got to do, they'll get you going. Let me put it that way. Go to saberheating.com. That's SABRE heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes. I'll do it. I promise. No question. Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Eggert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation. 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Chris Eggert joins us. What's in the news, man?
Well, Tom, I can get you up to speed on today's top stories if you'll stand by for 1 minute.
Magnificent.
Homeless encampment I'm sorry. I shouldn't say homeless encampment.
No.
It's an encampment where people are living, so really, technically, that's their home.
Oh, God. Stop with it. I love making excuses for they're living under a blanket, okay? That's not really their home, all right?
The place where these folks who don't have traditional stick-built housing,
Stick?
You the big bad wolf?
Yeah, that's
what they call in the construction biz, stick built.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay. I wouldn't know. So
I know the construction biz in and out. So there's an encampment in Minneapolis. Tom's like, I don't even care anymore. Encampment in Minneapolis where there's a bunch of folks living, and the city wants to clear it out. It's been causing some concerns for people in the neighborhood. There was a shooting there yesterday. I think there was some kind of violent incident that went down last week. But everyone's like, well, where are we going to go now? This does happen from time to time when these things pop up, and they continue to pop up because probably most of the people there don't want to live in the way, or they can't afford to live and they can't find a place to live. So there's all kind of controversy about what's going to happen with that.
Doesn't that have a lot to do with drug use? From what I understand from many sociologists, psychologists, most of those encampments are people who have a very serious drug problem. Is that not true?
I think what has been the storyline with this situation in the past is that there are shelters available for people, but a lot of times they are required to be drug or alcohol free while they're there. And that can be one of the issues why people don't choose to shelter that way.
And look, that's a malady. I'm not, going after people who use drugs or drink too much or whatever. It does happen to people, but we need to step up and help them with not where they live. We need to help them with their drug and alcohol problems. So maybe look, I understand why these shelters don't want drunk and drug addict people coming in, because they do cause lots of trouble. Some of them, not all of them, but we have to do something about this. Has gotten to a ridiculous point where people are getting stabbed to death. They're getting shot. They're getting robbed. Enough of this. We need to take care. And by the way, letting people cross the border 15 billion at a time with drugs in their pocket, which is mostly fentanyl, by the way, I really don't understand why that's being allowed. I don't get it.
Well, there's been all kinds of talk about some things happening in Washington right now, and maybe some actual movement towards some. I mean, there's not a fix at the border, unfortunately, but whatever's being done right now is not working. I think most everyone agrees on that. So
it is not working, and it's not worked in many, many years. Look, I'm not condemning people with drug and alcohol problems. I've gone through periods of my life. I get a little unruly once in a while, not to an extreme point, but I've made mistakes. I never got in a DUI or anything like that, thank God. But I'm not judging anybody here. I'm saying let's help these people. Just letting them lay around in the streets under a damn towel doing drugs is not taking care of our citizens. Correct?
Correct.
Let's get it done.
How many of you guys, let's see a show of hands if you regularly purchase THC products now that it's legal? Brittany?
Oh, look at you two liars back
now there. That it's legal, I've started purchasing THC.
Yes,
you guys.
I know. Yeah, indeed.
I would love that to be a part of my personality trait, but me and weed do not go well together.
Well, I guess buyer beware, because there were some state inspections that found some of the THC products sold in Minnesota have higher doses than what they're supposed to have.
Oh,
higher doses than what the law allows too, which from what I know about that, if you're expecting it to be at one level and it's not, that can be problematic.
Yeah. Which products were those? Just so I can make sure I don't accidentally purchase one of these extra strong products you speak of.
Yeah.
Let me see. Products are required to have 5 milligrams per serving. State found doses can cause medical problems.
Wait.
I'm not sure we have specifics on there right now.
Did you say that 5 milligrams is supposed to be the cap for it?
That's what we're saying here. Yeah.
But you can buy as much as you want, so it doesn't
per serving.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, I know I'll get like the THC seltzers, and they have where some of them are 5 milligrams or 10 milligrams, or I've noticed some of them they'll go, well, it's 10 milligrams of THC, and then we snuck in 5 milligrams of Delta 9, which is essentially a synthetic THC.
Right.
So I can see how people would be.
Oh yeah, the drinks are confusing because they're per serving, and so you're like a carbonated drink you're gonna put back in the fridge for someone to casually drink later. Like,
so I guess
a lot of them are only 3 milligrams, aren't they? A lot of the drinks.
It varies. Yeah, they usually range anywhere from the 3 to 10, depending on what size and stuff.
Well, so anyway, be careful.
The
state says that the label might not be what it says it is. So
I will tell you something, Noah, and I'm very serious about this. I have been sleeping like a damn king for the last several months, and it's because of THC. There's no question. I do about 15 milligrams of THC along with a couple of, whether it's, Z-Quil or Relaxium or any of that stuff. It works. Like I sometimes sleep 10 hours on the weekend. I have not done that in 40 years.
Oh
So
man,
THC has been a godsend for me. It's been one, I don't
10 hours of sleep sounds majestic right now.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
And with these companies putting, maybe more in than they say they are, it reminds me, Tom, of your story of when you accidentally took the wrong milligram tablets and you were like, I was high off my ass.
I was going to take a 5 milligram tablet and sit down and watch a little television. It was a Ricky Gervais show. What was the name of his last show? It was really good. Anyway, Ricky Gervais. So I grabbed my 5 milligram tablet and I pop her, and about half hour later, all of a sudden Ricky Gervais turns into a dragon. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I went over, picked up the bottle. It was 50 milligrams, not 5.
Oh, cool.
Like,
just a little strong.
I'm playing Hendrix songs.
I'm going to say something controversial, Tom, but I would prefer to see Ricky Gervais in dragon form than just the regular Ricky Gervais.
Oh, you don't like Ricky?
I think Chris just doesn't like British people.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Oh,
I have a long documented history of hating British people. AJ, you're absolutely right.
I could tell.
Tim Laudner quote. You ready for a Tim Laudner quote? I love Laudner. He's a wonderful guy. I don't see him very much anymore, but he's a great friend. We're talking about the Beatles one day. How I love the Beatles, and my God, from the time I was 11 years old, blah, blah, blah. Laudner comes over to me and looks at me and goes, I hate the Beatles, and walks away. With a British accent, he tells me, how the hell can you hate the Beatles? Explain that to me.
I bet I can see that, right? Like, because the guys, the British guy, be like, that's all anyone ever wants to talk to them about.
Yeah,
like, you know what? I'm not into the Beatles. Sorry.
Did you like Dave Clark 5, or is it all?
Yeah,
too
right. Hit him with something else.
There you go. No, I just thought it was one. I hate the Beatles, and he walks away.
That's funny.
Lod's is a great guy, really good guy. You get together with him, Herbeck, little Johnny Castino. You got some Gary Gaetti. Man, you would laugh your ass off. There's no doubt about it.
I bet. I would love to be in that room.
So what else is in the news? We already talked about the fact that, Chris, you thought you could go to the Boston mayor's party, but you've been disinvited. That's not in the local news, I've noticed, by the way. I just went through the local news. I couldn't find it in the local news.
Our local news, because it's not our local news. It's their local news.
No, I'm talking about it in the newspaper. But it's a national story. I'm sorry. It's not a local story. It's a national story. You know this story, right?
No.
Oh, you don't know about this? Yeah, well, it hasn't appeared on it. It's right here. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu plans no whites holiday party. Put it on the invitation, no whites allowed. This is the mayor of Boston. And by the way, she's married to a white guy.
He's probably the happiest one right now. I don't want to go to that goddamn party anyway.
What is wrong with you men? No, it's like these parties are supposed to be fun. I know that I am just in a battle with my husband, and both you and Judd, Chris, are triggering me to no end of, I don't even want to go to the, you know what, put on your hard pants and let's go.
No. Are you going to the holiday party, Brittany?
Of course I am on Saturday.
Chris,
are you going, Chris?
First one I've been at in like 6 years.
Yay! I'm excited for you to meet Justin.
Unless unless I can come up with something between now and then. The diehard, the best excuse that no one will ever question is tell them you got diarrhea.
Oh, that'll do it.
I don't know why you would. There's a lot of other excuses you can go with to get out of a party before you go with that route, but I respect you for going that way.
You just say, listen, maybe you don't even have to say diarrhea, but I always tell people who are going to call in sick for work here.
Yeah.
I'll be like, listen, no one will question you if you say you got the upset stomach and then you just imply that it's diarrhea. They'll be like, nope.
Do you know what's so funny? Since I always thought like people could work if you throw up or have diarrhea. So like if you tell me you have diarrhea so much so you can't go to work, I assume it's insane. Like I assume
that's what I mean. And like you don't want that person around you. You're like, nope, I don't.
It's like
very quickly, my first year at Hubbard Broadcasting, so I think 18 or 19 years old. The movie Superfly had just come up. You ever seen the movie Superfly?
Superfly.
Phenomenal movie.
And I know
or the big hat, or the long coat down to the mid to calf. So of course, me being into that kind of thing, I want to dress just like Superfly. So I'm wearing this big giant hat and wearing the long coat, and I walk in the front door, and Mr. Hubbard is there to greet everyone, Mr. Hubbard Sr.
Yeah.
And I walk in, and you could see him like lean his head back, like, what the hell is this? But he was very cool. He reaches his hand and goes, Merry Christmas, man. I will never forget that as well. How cool was that, though?
That is cool.
Merry Christmas, man.
I love that.
I look at those pictures now, I go, oh my God, how did I ever get through that era?
Is that when you were Catman?
Yes, it was. That absolutely was.
That feels like the right kind of outfit for a guy named Catman.
Oh, that was a Catman. That was Jim Chanel's idea from who became Captain Whammo on Chicago radio. He was Captain Whammo.
Why can't we have names like that now?
And now with the news, here's Captain Whammo.
Dude, that would be great.
I would love that. Better. All right, Pally, I know you go. Oh, God, you definitely got to go.
I'm late. I'm late for a very important date.
We'll talk to you tomorrow, though, brother.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you later, Captain Whammo.
Yeah.
He'd be a good Captain Whammo, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who gave me the name Catman. That's been sticking with me. Nobody calls me that anymore, but they did until about probably 10 years ago. I mean, even my friends started calling me Catman.
How long were you on air as Catman?
All told, probably at least 10 years.
Wow.
Oh, no, it was longer than that. It was about, I don't know, probably about 13, 14 years, because my first go around at KQ, it was the Cat and Kincaid. So I was a Catman at KQ even, the first round.
Wow.
And then I got fired in 83, and then they hired me back in 86. So there you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, like, we don't want the Catman, but Tom Barnard is welcome to come back.
Please don't bring that Catman with you.
Very true, by the way. We don't want the Catman, but you can bring the other guy back. Mace. God, Mace has been gone for, 10 years already? Something like that. And she died. I don't remember what it even was, but she was not very old when she died. You know, have you noticed that I always talk about my friends who died very young? Is it me? They all die young because they're hanging out with me?
I don't want, you're the only constant that I see in all these variables.
What I'm saying. It's exactly what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I just, I suppose what I should do is go to break now and serve the people. Do you think?
Yeah. And I think you should think about the life choices you've been making.
And while we're at break, all of us are going to start creating a will just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case, come up with a will. There's no question about it. Well, let me just say this before I go to, I got to do this anyway. Channel 5's Chris Eggers is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. And as we go to break, let me just say, Merry Christmas, man.
I like it.
You like it? Good. Ladies and gentlemen, holiday shopping season is happening right now, and you can save up to 70% off your shopping with the Tom Barnard Holiday Online Auction, December 8th through the 14th. Auction items include, yeah, baby, gift certificates at Grand Ole Creamery. Oh, God, I love Grand Ole Creamery. Institute of Non-Destructive Testing Certificate Program, free tuition for the training, or OsteoStrong 12-month memberships. Visit TomBarnardShow.com. Enter keyword auction to view items and bid. That's TomBarnardShow.com. Keyword, of course, is auction, AUCTION. Bidding ends today, December 14th. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed. Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
That's great. I get back. Tevin's laughing and Brittany's chowing down. What a view.
That's great that you brought that up because it looks absolutely disgusting what she's doing.
The name doesn't help either. It's called Mush, M-U-S-H. It's just overnight oats, but it's like, yeah.
It looks gross. And she eats it every day.
Hold on, tilt that towards the camera again, please.
Well, it even knocked her off the air.
It's just overnight oats, but
gross.
What does overnight oats mean? I don't even know what that means.
It's you can make them yourselves, but it's just oats you put in with a bunch of different things in the fridge and it just soaks it all up. It doesn't look great. It tastes good. It doesn't have dairy in it, which is great for me in the morning. So
are you gonna have to poop after that?
I mean, hopefully at some point.
That's what I'm saying. See right there. You got it all covered. Everything is good.
I mean, the goal is every day to poop, and I definitely, that's a check mark I make a couple times a day. Am I right?
If you can get her done, it's a magnificent life. That's all I have to say. You have a great life. There's no question about it, ladies and gentlemen. No, what's that? Is that a drink? Is that like whiskey Coke?
Yeah.
This is whiskey Coke.
Coke in the morning.
I'm using an old coffee cup that Justin got me yesterday. I'm becoming Gel fan that I'm just using old things. I put coffee in it today and I've just been reusing it.
Oh God, so many people reached out to me about that story about my brother Troy talking to me over my mother's casket.
Yeah.
I told you guys that story yesterday.
Yeah, the coffee and the cigarette.
The coffee and the cigarette in the casket.
If there was proof, like no proof that cigarettes were bad for you, that would be me every morning. I would have a cigarette and a coffee.
Cigarette, yeah, sure.
Like if it didn't hurt you, because I love coffee and cigarettes.
No, it started out deep enough, but after she did have a couple of cigarettes during the day and some coffee, it was like, Tom, what time will you be home this afternoon? Yeah. Honestly, my mother's voice was deep as hell.
Oh, Toots.
I do miss you, Toots. I adored my mother. Do you guys adore your mothers? And if you didn't, don't even bring it up because I don't want to hear it.
Me, I'm so jealous right now. So Beverly and Justin are having a Beverly and Justin mess around day. They both have plans. They're going to go get curtains and then they're going to Christmas shop. And the jealousy I have that they get to hang out with each other today is so palpable. I keep being like, where are you guys going to go? What are you doing? During the commercial breaks, I text like, hey, where are you guys now? What's going on?
They probably are like just talking shit about you. Like, is she texting you too? Yeah, she won't leave me alone.
Yeah.
Like, this is our special day together.
I'm so jealous. I love hanging out with my mom. I love hanging out with Justin. Like they get to hang out without me. So
no question. Do you have like a favorite moment or a few favorite moments with your mother you look back on and go, my God, that was like an example of that. I was with my mother sitting there watching a little television at her house over on 26th Avenue North. And again, I'll show you the kind of businesswoman my mother was. She bought that house for $16,000 and 10 years later sold it for $16,000.
That's
nice purchase.
Dang.
Nice purchase, Toots. Way to think ahead. But yeah, I'm sitting there with her one day and all of a sudden there was a break in the news. I can't even remember what year it would have been. I think it was like 72 or something like that. You guys would know this, but I'm sitting there and they announced that Elvis Presley had been found dead. And my mother started crying like somebody said that one of her kids had died. That was so cool to see. My mother loved Elvis. And you know why? Because he was a poor kid that came up and became very famous, one of the most famous people in the world. And she loved the fact that America, and she did talk about America, that America could take a poor kid from the deep South and make him one of the biggest stars in the world. She loved that.
That's
you can
amazing.
come from nothing and become everything.
Yeah.
That is kind of, do we do that anymore? Is that happening any longer?
Yeah, I think it happens all the time. I think I think America, like that's what's really cool. Like, I think it's not just working hard. It's also a lot of good luck, but they're people make it in whatever realm that is. They maybe owning a house is their version of making it big. Maybe you know, buying a car is like, so there, I think that exists is that, like, you know, and you can't take away some of that's luck and some of that's whatever, but people do things, and I believe that you have the opportunities to do that stuff, and it's really cool.
It is wonderful. I like it when people help each other out and they're happy to do it and they don't want any special notice for it or any of that stuff. I love when people do things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be honest. Not everything about the holidays is awesome unless you're like 7 years old. Well, that's probably true. I was 7. I was very fired up when I was 7.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons. It was Christmas and they took my dad to the nut house. So I was very happy.
One man snuck in your house and one got pushed out.
Dad's gone, but Santa's here.
Yay!
What a great trade. In any case, a website recently suggested various Christmas traditions and then asked people, do you guys have any Christmas traditions? I don't think we do in my family.
Yeah.
Do you? Like, what do you do?
Like the big one is we put the Santa bears up. And we go through and we make sure we do it by year. It's usually me and Josie now. And then we do like the stockings, of course. And I think Justin loves his mom's cheesecake. And so we try to make it. We always mess it up, but it's still good.
Sure.
Just fun stuff like that. Like I love, especially after having Go-Go, I think Christmas was kind of harder, not hard growing up, but it was very triggering because we had so many family dynamics and like step family and this and that, and people are arguing and who goes where and what kind of thing. Like you go dad's house, mom's, all that stuff. But now that I have a kid, I find it to be so fun, like only fun.
Oh, it is. Oh, it gets better too, by the way. When the kid gets older, year by year, you're going to love it.
Anytime she sees the Santa, Tom, no matter what, if she's seen it 100 times, she'll go, oh, ho, ho, ho.
She does not nailing it.
You're close. Yeah.
Close enough. There's no question about that. How about you guys? Do you have any?
Yeah, similar to Brittany, obviously the decorating portion of it, you always make a big deal out of that. But like when I was growing up, my mom, she was very strict on, we'll go see all of the family, all around Christmas. But on Christmas Day, she's like, I'm waking up in my own bed. We're making a big breakfast and we're just hanging out with family all day.
So your mom was so good about guarding that for you guys, like the bubble. That's so cool.
Yeah. And so now, like as an adult, I remember like I got kicked out of my family Christmas. We don't have to dive into that one year. And so ever since then, I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, Christmas Day, screw all of you anyway. I'm just staying home. And
well.
I do
ho.
Yeah.
Or ho ha ho.
Oh, ha.
Yeah. And it's always overnight French toast every year.
Oh,
that's the dish I make. So
I love French toast. Why don't you make it for us, you cheap prick? Let's go.
Yeah, don't eat my mush.
Yeah, you got her mud or whatever. AJ, how about you?
I guess one that we kind of do. We used to do, which I loved. I looked forward to this every year. We would on Christmas Day wake up. My mom's parents, my grandpa and grandma, would be with us, and they would have kind of like Christmas Eve with us and have that. But then Christmas Day, we would go to my dad's brother's house, and that entire side of the family would come join, and it was just like a lot of Italians, like the Catani side of the family's coming over. Living in a cul-de-sac, we'd get out there and have the family boot hockey game, and that was wonderful. That like half hour. It felt longer, but that half hour was just the best part of that entire day because it's you pick the teams and blah blah blah. Yeah. It's just a lot of fun, and then after you go in, some people. They're sweaty. Some people got pushed into a snowbank.
Yeah. And you got to rehash the game for the next 4 hours. Yeah.
Exactly. Like Uncle Rob on the back door won the game. And
he thinks he's Wayne Gretzky. Yeah.
He's walking around the house, chest out.
But then you go outside, and then the rest of the day it's just like, all right, we're gonna eat, we're gonna sit around, we're gonna talk, and that whole community, like family aspect, was something I always look forward to. But then we haven't done it in a few years now since my aunt passed. But right. Yeah, like that was like the pinnacle of like Christmas time growing up for me.
I was almost certain one of the three of you would go, what the hell are you talking about? I'm a Muslim. I thought for sure you'd throw that at me.
Oh, yeah. Well, you didn't ask about any Kwanzaa traditions.
You didn't ask about Kwanzaa, Tom. Way to go, man. No, see, that's wonderful. You have such great Christmas memories and being together. It's all based on family. It sounds like to me.
Yeah, and I remember like Christmas Day, waking up and leading up to Christmas, you're looking under the tree trying to guess what your presents are.
So excited.
And me and my brother were big into video games, and so usually every year my mom would buy us, one of them would be a video game. We knew what the box looked like,
and you're just so excited.
And so we
to
would
play.
save that. We'd save that one for last, and we'd be like, "Which one did you get? I got this one. Okay, I'm gonna go set the timer for an hour. You play your game for an hour, and then I'm gonna play mine for an hour." And we just waste the day away.
And would you watch each other play then?
Of course,
oh, I love that.
Yeah. Would you ever do the small rip every once in a while? Like it's under the tree and oh,
oh,
this one just look at that. Like
the cat must have ripped
it. What? Okay, and then it's okay, based on this 1 inch square, what could it possibly? I can't.
Oh yeah, one year I really pissed off my mom because I opened one and it was this Old Navy vest that I did not want. So I secretly opened it, and so I decided I'm just gonna hint at dinner tonight that I don't want this vest. And as soon as I said it, my mom looked at me dead in the face. And was like, "Did you open your present?" I said, "No." She goes, and the tape's not even remotely sticking again. Oh, she was so mad at me. And it was so out of character to me, but it was all right, this is going to be my first act of rebellion for many more to come.
No, or my grandma, I don't know how she did it, but because we had so many cousins and she would buy everybody tons of gifts, but we would open them from youngest to oldest. And I was the oldest. And most of the gifts were everybody got the same thing. She just went to the store, everybody gets a toy car. So by the end of it, I knew everything that I was getting. And so I would do the big fake dramatic, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was going to be a toy car. And they're like, "Tevin, you're very good at the fake." I was like, "Yeah, well, I've been opening up my gifts last every year."
That's funny.
So I know what I'm getting. Yes.
That reminds me of the viral video of the kid that's practicing opening gifts for when his family's over. His parents wrapped up a potato. So it's so cute. It's such a good video. But he opens it and he goes, "A potato!" And he hugs it. It's great.
Magnificent. Again, a website recently suggested various Christmas traditions and then asked people whether they're really still gung-ho about it. If it is just so, maybe, or if it's something they secretly despise. Thousands of people weighed in, and these were the responses, ladies and gentlemen. Christmas traditions that, I'll start at the bottom because you want to go at the bottom because these are the ones they like, but they like the least. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Looks like it. Making Christmas cards. 11% of people not only send out Christmas cards, but they apparently make them. Never did that in my life.
Never did it, but it's cute.
Is it?
I mean, that's a cute thing to do, to make a Christmas card. It means a lot more to me than most of the time when people send me a picture of their family, especially nowadays. It's I see pictures of your family all the time on Facebook and Instagram, but I think the making of it is pretty cute. That's pretty.
Yeah, the problem is though, if the kid gave it to me, I go, "You cheap prick! You didn't want to spend $1 to buy a card."
Oh, trust me, those crafts cost quite a bit. Getting into that Michael's world, good luck.
Number 14, all Christmas shopping is done by Black Friday. 14% actually do this. Number 13, Christmas family photos. 14% of people are really into it. I don't think we ever did that. Then you got putting Christmas trees up before Thanksgiving. Did you guys do that?
No.
This year I did, but typically I'm the day after Thanksgiving.
There you go. How about baking cookies? Did you do that?
No, we don't. I used to go to that cookie party, but I haven't done any of that in a long time.
Okay, here's your top 10 ugly Christmas sweaters. 25% are still obsessed with wearing an ugly Christmas sweater.
I got two that are pretty cute that I like to bust out.
Number 9, I'm offended if someone says they don't like Christmas. 26% of people take the holiday that seriously. Why would you tell someone, first of all, I don't like Kwanzaa, I don't like, Hanukkah, I don't like, why would you even say that to somebody?
Why would that offend me?
Right.
It's like,
the only time I got offended is when Tevin was talking shit about Halloween because it made me sad for him.
You mean because it's the worst holiday ever?
Phenomenal. It's magnificent. Hosting Christmas parties, 27% want to entertain over the holidays. Christmas decorations, 29% of people are still enthusiastic about it. Christmas carols, 36% of people go out and subject others to their singing to feel like the Christmas spirit. I do like that though when people walk through the streets and do the Christmas carols. That's nice.
Yeah, it's so rare. I don't even know if
Yeah.
that's ever happened to me that we haven't paid somebody. My neighbor Priscilla did that. Like they, had people come to the cul-de-sac. We had a party and they did Christmas caroling. I've never happened upon that in my life.
Christmas movies. Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
I think Home Alone's probably mine.
Home Alone is phenomenal. Then you got to go with the George C. Scott version of A Christmas Carol.
That's
phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a movie that Timmy Lammers told me about. I think it's called The Outliers or something like that. That's not it.
Holdovers.
Holdovers. That's exactly what it is. Did you watch it?
I have not. No.
It's fantastic. It's a very, very well-made movie. The acting in it. Paul Giamatti, first of all, is a tremendous actor. He's just great. But yeah, what's it called? The Holdovers?
Yes, The Holdovers.
Okay, it's terrific. If you get a chance, watch it. It covers all the ground of stupid, funny, sad. It covers it all and does a really, really good job. I would highly recommend it. Number 4, Christmas music. You like Christmas music, don't you?
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 3, all presents must be opened on Christmas Day. No exceptions. 41% are hardcore about this. Did you ever open them on Christmas Eve?
My cousins always did because they hated when their kids would wake them up at 5 a.m. But for our house, Santa comes and then we open our presents. So we are Christmas morning people.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
No.
When you say Santa comes, so you don't put them under the tree like today? So
no, there's presents you give to each other and like that.
But
like
then you put more
also
Santa comes.
for our house, often what happens is I don't know. Everybody's different. Santa does different things for people's houses. Santa never wrapped our presents.
Oh, okay.
So we'd come down to the present Santa had put together, and my mom would come down looking haggard. She probably didn't sleep well knowing that Santa was down there putting them together.
Just hearing them go away with
Yes.
Yeah, like just
Indeed.
Barbie dream houses and arguments around that. So yeah.
I did when I was about 5 years old. I was opening a gift and I looked at it and I said, Mom, have you ever noticed that your and Santa's handwriting looks exactly the same?
Yeah, you were on to something there.
Gee, I wonder why that was.
That's because she probably learned from Santa. Duh.
Yeah, probably. Wouldn't be the worst idea. Number 2 is snow. 42% of people love snow on Christmas. You agree?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
As soon as that calendar rolls over to the next year, I'm done with snow. But
Same.
I want snow from the 25th through the 1st. Otherwise, I don't need it.
Yeah.
I like it. Number 1, though, 54% of people are enthusiastic about Secret Santa.
Secret Santa is pretty fun. I feel like we always know. We have 7 kids in our family, and we tried doing Secret Santa, but by one weekend, we all knew who had who before even Christmas came.
So there's no secret.
No.
It's a bummer when you get somebody like there's a group of people maybe that you're like, I could nail this for.
Yeah.
But then you get that one person that's like, I don't know a damn thing about this person.
Yeah.
Like, I see you wear shoes every day. Here's new shoelaces.
Yeah.
Happy, Merry Christmas.
One thing I'm surprised it's not on that list. Do people, and I guess, Brittany, you have a kid. Will you do the cookies and milk part of Santa Claus where you put that out?
Yeah, of course we do that.
Ooh.
And of course you got to put a carrot out for a reindeer.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah, of course. What am I gonna be, a terrible hostess?
Yeah, like usual, you mean?
Like usual, I'm actually gonna feed the man giving us gifts.
Shot of whiskey just in case he's feeling a little extravagant that night.
Yeah, I'd be scared who's gonna drink that since me and Justin both don't drink. So, but I mean,
Go just wakes up hungover.
A thimble of whiskey to Christmas.
Oh, there were years when I remember the old whiskey rolling big time on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And interesting.
Tom, because I know you're not maybe you were back in the day. Could you imagine waking up hungover on Christmas to kids waking you up at 6 a.m., opening gifts, the wrapping, the food? I mean, I'm sure people do it all the time and good for you. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. No question. Okay, before we move on, I must admit, because last night, Catherine was, I don't know what, we're coming up on it. Last night was the 13th, so we're only 12 days away from Christmas. And she's like, what are you guys looking at?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
What are you guys doing?
I don't know
We'll
what
have
they're
to
doing.
talk. We'll have to talk about it on the next with our guests coming up because they did something in the screen as they're getting ready to be on. That
The guests
caught me off
did?
guard. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I can't see it. That's why I didn't know what you're talking about either, Tom.
I can't see it either.
You're gonna love it.
Sorry.
I'll tell you that much. You're
Oh,
gonna
we love it. Oh, there was more. Did you see that? There was more lightning.
More lightning.
Good. In any case, what the hell were we just talking about? We're segueing. I know that.
Drinking on Christmas, being hungover.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, Christmas is coming up in just 11 days now. Looking forward to it.
Catherine was saying Christmas is coming up.
Last
You're not
night.
sure what she's going to do last night.
I just know it's the 14th, or last night was the 13th, and I don't know what to get you for Christmas. And what do you want for Christmas? And I, of course, looked at her and said, all I want for Christmas is you. To which she replied, get the hell away from me.
She said, okay, but like, what if I can't give you that day?
Yeah, well, that's kind of what she said, actually.
Pretty much.
One of the reasons I adore that woman so much, she has got such an edge to her, such an attitude. I love that about her. She's a very tough woman. I always loved, my mother was tough too.
You're a masochist, sir.
Is that what it is? I'm a masochist?
Yeah.
Possibility, no question. We do have to take a break, so we're going to find out what those two hunyucks. Now, Brittany and I couldn't see it.
No.
But something happened. We'll take a break, be right back. Matt and Kristen from Sotheby's will join us right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Show. Listen live at tombernardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to Me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Tom here, and I want to discuss a partnership that has been wonderful in my life, Zero Res Carpet Care. Very good friends of mine. Nothing is better to someone with a family than having a completely clean home. Your carpet is the biggest filter in your house. If you want to talk about pet dander or foot traffic, dirt from the outside, they all eventually reside in your carpet. So, Zero Res Carpet Care. Listen, around the holidays, you need to contact ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZEROREZ. That's 952-ZERO-RES. They clean your home with their electrolyzed pH-elevated water that doesn't use chemicals or soaps that smell like a janitor's closet like other cleaning services. How about a Tom Barnard deal? Well, here it is. Get 3 rooms, 0 resified, starting at $129, and don't forget your air ducts. Mention me, and they'll discount your air vents by $75 too. This is for the entire month, so call them right now, 952-0-RES, backward or forwarded, spells the same, or book online, ZeroResMinnesota.com. If it's available, ask for them to come to your place in the Tom Barnard named service truck. What an honor that was, by the way. Just mention me by name and get the special deal to get your home clean and your heart happy. Zero Res Carpet.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
Before you head back to one of the big box stores for your hunting and shooting needs this season, do yourself a favor and visit My Choice, K&L Surplus and Ammo in Lino Lakes. Not only does K&L have one of the widest selections of firearms and ammo in the Twin Cities, they also do business the right way. They want to make sure that you have the right firearm and the right ammo for your needs. Jim, the owner, has over 25 years of experience in the business and will help you find what you need at a fair price. Speaking of prices, a lot of stores are using inflation and supply shortages as an excuse to raise prices on ammunition. Not K&L. Jim's doing everything to hold the line on pricing so you can spend more time on the range. Find out for yourself why K&L Surplus and Ammo has been the choice of gun owners for over 25 years. Go in and chat with Jim in person at the store on Lake Drive in Lina Lakes or online at klgunstore.com.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. One thing I do love about doing this job, I've been in radio now for 53 years, something like that. And I love it when I'm going to interview somebody and then the salesperson sends me something like this.
Yeah, 40 pages long.
That should only take you about 60 seconds to read that whole thing.
Wait, Tom, did you get the one that I sent?
Yeah.
I feel like that's not it. Maybe it is. I might have sent you the wrong one, which is my fault. I thought
It's not a big deal. Okay. Why? What's the problem?
I had one that was a little thinned out.
Well, I know you did. I'd have that one too. This is a different one. You're right.
Okay.
So, why does it, when I look up at the picture, say Kristen, but there's no mention of Matt? Just says right here, it says Kristen. What the hell is that?
That's that guy right there.
Oh, he did it. He doesn't want, I don't want my name known on Barnard's show. Just we'll put your name up there, but not mine. Is that the plan?
Oh, hi guys. Well, it's my computer, so I guess no.
It all works out. Okay, now for some reason, Brittany and I couldn't see it, but for some reason, Tevin and AJ had a big laugh of something you two did, but I don't know what it was. They wouldn't tell me.
Oh, I don't know.
Is that a beer?
A White Claw?
Yeah.
There was a shirt that caught us off guard that you were folding.
Yeah.
Okay, so I ran around Key West and I got everyone a shirt. And you know what's hard is I know your personalities from listening, but I really don't know that much about you. So I'm in this t-shirt store for about an hour trying to match up personalities with all these sayings. So we're going to showcase all the t-shirts and who they go to.
Uh-oh. Now I'm nervous.
I'm so scared and excited. How dare you? I'm excited.
Should we do it now or at the end of the show?
Whatever you want to do, it's up to you, Kristen.
Okay, well, we're going to start with you first, Tom.
That's my favorite sign in the history of going to Key West. Do you know the name of the store where that hangs in the window? I can't remember the name of the store.
I was just there yesterday. Tootsie's 2020 or something like that.
Something like that.
You got to read it, Tom.
I'll say for the listeners that are not watching us on YouTube, it says, I'm not gay, but $20 is $20.
Apparently they jumped ahead. I was going to save that for a little bit, but
sorry.
A bunch of pushy coworkers. I'm getting used to it eventually, No,
it is. And for your wife, Catherine, I don't know her at all, but I think she's probably really sweet and a saint, so I didn't want to get her anything too nasty, but
I don't need Google. My husband. Oh, okay, Kristen. I don't need Google, but because my husband knows everything. A shot at Uncle Tommy. That's all I'm saying.
How fitting, huh?
Yeah, indeed. Okay, who we got next?
AJ. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, AJ.
I'm excited.
I'm nervous.
Oh. Okay.
What does it say, AJ? That's my favorite one so far.
I got a picture of
Matt,
Trump
did you come up
top, right? It's more jobs. Obama than no jobs. It's a wrinkle. Is that Clinton?
Oh yeah, Clinton. Here,
Clinton blowjobs. Then Biden says nut job.
Oh my God,
that's amazing.
Isn't that one good?
I can't wait to see you turn that into a crop top. Just rocking that.
Yep. No,
so this one we got for Pat.
Working harder than an ugly strip. Well, he would make an ugly stripper. I got to be honest with you about that. Nothing against Pat, but he would not be a good. What do you think, Matt? Ugly stripper, Pat?
Oh my Yeah. Okay, let's see. Is this Brittany's? Oh, no. We all know who this is probably, but.
Oh, here we go.
Oh
my God. That's definitely Brittany.
It's
definitely Brittany.
Definitely Brittany, definitely.
Tevin,
Oh my God.
Devin, okay.
you gonna wear that around
Are
town?
you going to say that one out loud?
Tevin,
Yeah,
for the
best
podcast.
cock on the block with a picture of a strong chicken.
Yeah.
It's a rooster, not a chicken.
Yeah, grow up.
Okay, here's Brittany's.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like it.
That's definitely me. That's definitely me. Any cock will do.
And then the last one,
Brilliant.
I think it was Andy's.
Oh, Andy's. I'm pooped. Yeah, that's a good one for Andy. That'll be perfect for him because he goes through that. There's no question about it.
I pooped today.
I pooped today. It's a good thing. There's no question. Well, that was very nice. You did all that work you guys went through for this. Now, Matt, were you helping in the selection of these T-shirts?
I had nothing to do with it.
The reason I asked that is the whole time that she was showing the T-shirts, Matt was doing this.
He's trying to distance himself
as far away from the frame as possible while still being in the shot.
Now, Catherine wanted me to ask you guys. So, how long are you going to be down in Key West? I mean, this particular stay. Are you both going to be around for several more weeks?
Well, I live here full time.
Right,
But
you live
Matt
there
is
full time.
Yeah.
I go back and forth.
Oh, you do?
3 times a month, probably. I'm in Minnesota constantly.
Catherine and I are thinking about driving down and having a little dinner with you guys one night this winter.
Oh my gosh, come down. We'll take you out and about. And my husband's a charter captain, so if you want to go fishing or for a boat ride or sandbars, we got you.
No, it'd be great. I love Key West. And you know what sucks about this now is that the laws have gotten so strict about insurance and all the rest. You can't bring people with you anywhere anymore. It's way too expensive. Doesn't that suck?
No, that's only till about noon. After 12 o'clock.
After 12, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to love bringing at the Q. We brought listeners down there. I don't know how many years in a row. It was unbelievable. Look, I'll just talk about my own experiences. That T-shirt, I'm not gay, but $20 was actually hanging in the window of a shop that Kristen was just talking about. I walked by it and I went, did that just say what I thought it said? I went back around and I said, I found a place that kind of fits my personality, because most places would never have the balls to put something like that in their window.
No.
It's funny. Can we laugh? It'd be great, right?
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's freedom down here. You're supposed to, we accept everybody and everything down here, and pretty much anything goes. I mean, it's still the same as it was. There's we got a new new city manager in, and he's trying to spruce things up a little bit. We don't know what that means, but maybe you can't walk naked down Duval anymore. You might have to wear nipple tassels, but something.
Sure.
So he's trying to clean it up a little bit.
Don't clean it up too much.
Yeah. So today our power went out, because we're a little island. So if a sailboat hits a wire or anything, it cuts down power. So we just got power on about a half hour ago. We were running around trying to get everything set up, and yeah, it was craziness, but that's what we love. So I called the city. Speaking of the city manager, I called the office. I said, hey, can you get me into the waterfront? Do you know where we have our big concerts? Was that there when you were here?
Yep.
Okay. So I called them and they said, yeah, we'll meet you there at 9:45, because I wanted to go on stage and showcase all of, the park and the venue and everything back there. Because I told Matt, I said, the one thing everybody loves about Key West is all the music. And we have so many awesome concerts coming up. So I wanted to showcase that venue, but then we have this little storm coming in, so we couldn't go. But
that's too bad. I got to ask you a question. When we do come down again, there's an Italian place that's kind of, oh God, I can't even describe where it was, but I love this place. It's been there forever. And I'm hoping it's still there, because I haven't been down in a couple of years now. But I think it's called like Avendanza, something like that. It starts with I think it's Avendanza, I believe.
No, it's not here anymore. But we'll take you to Bagatelle.
Oh, what happened to my I love that restaurant.
I don't know. We'll have to Google that.
We go to La Trattoria. That's my favorite.
Oh, La
Italian
Trattoria. Oh, you'll like that.
Okay, we'll go there instead.
Yeah.
That works for me. But I just, again, for people who have never been there, because some people, oh, Key West, it might not be for me. I'm telling you, when you get to Key West, there are these magnificent hotels that have been there forever. Just really, really nice. The food is fantastic. The people, everybody, when I was down there, was very, very friendly to me. I'd be walking down the street. Hey, how you doing? I love that about Key West. It's a very, very friendly place, don't you think?
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I like the vibe down here so much more than like even other parts of Florida, because people down here don't flaunt money really. $100,000 cars everywhere on the street, like Miami Beach or something. That doesn't exist here. And there's a lot of money down here, but you would never know like amounts of people here. And I think that's really cool.
I do mortgages obviously, and I'll get a customer and I'll think, I just don't even know like how and where does all this money come from? And they're still financing. They don't finance the whole thing. If they're buying a $3 million house, they'll finance $1 million or something. But
right.
When I moved down here, from Alexandria, Minnesota, where homes were $200,000 or $250,000,
right.
And you come down here and you see, trust fund kids living off of $1 million a year, but they look like they don't have a pot to piss in. You just don't know. It's the money down here is insane. And it just, every single time I say, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's the wealthiest person I've ever seen. Then the next week, someone else comes in. And so it's, and we're blessed to be where we are because of the island life, but the people make where we live. That's why it's so amazing. And of course, the weather and the water and you're able to drink a White Claw at 9 a.m., stuff like that.
She owned up to it. Yeah, she owned up to it, baby. No, if you don't like Key West, there's something wrong with you, because the history there, whether it's Harry Truman, we talked about Ernest Hemingway, there's so many people that went to Key West. Well, Harry Truman wanted to put the White House on Key West. Did you ever know that?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
We have parties at that little Truman White House, and it's magical and beautiful back there. That we'll have like the chamber will hold an event back there, and it's just you feel just such a part of history.
And Sloppy Joe's is still there, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, I have to go there tonight.
Oh, you have to go there tonight, really? Gee, that's too bad, Kristen. I'm sorry you're forced to go to a bar.
There's a bunch of Minnesota people down here right now, and so the meetup place is at Sloppy Joe's at 10 p.m. And I said, it's a little late for me, but I'll try and make it.
One of my great memories of Key West, I'm just kind of walking around the island, just kind of going through downtown, then go out to the port, and I'm thinking, just very peaceful, really, really nice, and all the rest of it. And this huge ship came and moored there in the island. And I found out very quickly, it was hilarious, because I was like, I wish more Minnesotans would come down here and get this experience. But the ship pulls up. It was full of people from Minnesota. It was hilarious. You go, hey, Tommy, I didn't know you were here. I goes, oh, God, don't you listen to the show? They come down here every year. It was so nice that 200 people came and said hello. It was, what a moment that was.
How fun. I know. I just love it. Anytime I'm out and about and anyone from Minnesota is there. And we do have a lot more from the Midwest coming down. I'd like to think that, us being down here has helped too. And we've gotten so many comments, requests, and everything from being on your show. I think the last one, I had a text message right after we got off, or it aired about 5 minutes later. I'll have to read you some of it, but Matt got a couple of customers last week. So.
Oh, you did? Well, tell them to spend some dough. Come off the dough, Buster. Can you say that?
Possibilities. We'll see.
I'd love to see it. Well, tell them I insisted. That's all I'm saying. So let me ask you a question. To get kind of a middling house down in Key West. The only reason I'm asking this is because on Palm Beach Island, there is a lot. Now, it's a large lot. There's no question about that. There is a lot for sale. There's nothing on it. It's just a piece of land, and it's a big piece of land for sale for $200 million. Just the land. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
So
you got some spending spots. What's
Do you
that?
need a land loan for that, Tommy?
Yeah, I could come up with I could come up with about half of it, 100 million, but I might need help with the other 100 million to buy. So what kind of house would you build on a $200 million lot? Think about that.
Well, so the money down here is, unreal, but you step up into that area and we're in a different league. Like, I don't even understand that. Like,
No,
to buy a $200 million lot and put a house on there, they don't need me for financing. They're rolling in and
Yeah, I suppose that is true. Well, nobody's bought it yet. It's been for sale for about 3 weeks, but nobody's bought it yet. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so they're really, I was just thinking about an average house in Key West, and I don't know if there are average houses. There's some great neighborhoods. You could take these walk, and I would, by the way, the first time you go to Key West, walk through the neighborhoods because you'll have this magnificent experience because the people tend to be very nice. You might find a cat or two down there among now there's some that peeked over the couch at me. Was that a dog or a cat behind you?
Oh, that's my dog.
Oh, it was your dog. He was right between the two. He was like, what's going on here? He looked right between the two. It was great. It was phenomenal. But okay, so if somebody has never been to Key West and they want to come down because they're thinking about it, they've heard us talk about it. One thing I will tell you again, ladies and gentlemen, and this is big for Minnesotans, as you both know, everybody leaves you alone. They'll say hello, how you doing, all the rest of it, but they will not bother you. They don't get in your face down there. That was my experience anyway. They just don't do that there.
No, we have lots of celebrities that come, and I've been sitting next to them at lunchtime, and like Dale Earnhardt Jr., the Johnson, the football coach. He lives in Islamorada.
Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson. So
Islamorada's nice. Yep.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful area, and I was there and having lunch, and I don't ever ask to take their pictures or anything, but I did. Jimmy Johnson was with another football coach, and I was with my daughter, and I bought his lunch. Who could say they bought Jimmy Johnson his lunch, and why would someone do that? I didn't say hi, I didn't ask for a picture, didn't acknowledge, just told the waitress, hand me his bill, and paid his bill and left. And Hannah, my daughter's like, why would you do that? She doesn't understand the nostalgia from, seeing someone like that, but we leave them alone.
That makes sense. But the feeling I got the very first time, and I really wish we could maybe put together something with this show someday, but the insurance part of it is such a bitch now. It's unbelievable. But I went down there. People are very, very friendly. You can go for long walks around the neighborhoods or whatever. You go to the hotels, a bunch of really nice hotels down there too, by the way, for your stay when you go down looking for some real estate. If you want to talk to Matt and Kristen about buying a place down there, which I'm telling you're some people have this idea that Florida is a whole, oh my God, I'd never go to Florida. It's just you tell me you go from Key West over to Little Palm Island, then you go up to Islamorada like you're talking about. You go up to Key Largo. It's a magnificently beautiful state. And I'm just talking about the East Coast there. That doesn't even include the West Coast, which is nice as well, right?
Oh, yeah. I fell in love with coming down here when I was a little girl. My mom would always bring me down, my parents. And I always said, I tried to come down here after high school because I wanted to bartend at the Tiki Bar, the original Tiki Bar in Islamorada. Yes. I had my bags packed and I wasn't going to go to college. I was supposed to swim, all this stuff. I said, no, I want to go bartend at the Tiki Bar. She took my suitcase and she said, well, you're not taking that because I think that. I was like, okay, we better. And she goes, you're not driving our car we gave you, so I don't know how you're getting there. So off to St. Cloud State I went. Yeah.
You know how cool it is, too, for the first time a guy gets there and you walk into Sloppy Joe's and you sit there and go, Ernest Hemingway used to sit here. I've heard every day. I don't know if that's true or not, but Ernest did like to go to the bars from what I understand. But just to walk into those places and see all the great history there. I'll tell you another thing, and this may sound a little, hokey to some people, but it means the world to me. That sunset, where that sun sets behind the island, Sunset Island, that is one of the most magnificent visages you're ever going to have in your life. You ain't going to believe how beautiful that is when that. You guys still go there, even though you live there? Do you go once in a while just to see it?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, sometimes we'll look outside and it's going to be a great sunset, and my husband will say, "Let's hop in the boat quick." We run out to a good spot, and the sunset, still after 7 years of me living here, it still just takes your breath away.
It does.
You can have the worst day and you just go watch a Key West sunset and it's all better.
That's exactly the point I was making. Let's say you did have a bad day. Things weren't going all that well. You go watch that sunset, and there are places to stand that there's this, I don't know, there are a couple of bars right there, I know too, which is really unusual in Key West to have a bar right there on the ocean, but you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's 331 now. We just got
331 bars?
331.
That's like one for every 10 feet.
It is. You can stumble out one door and stumble in the next.
This is something, and again, I'm not trying to be anti-Minnesotan here, not at all. I was born and raised in Minnesota, love Minnesota, there's no question about it. But they can be a bit judgmental. You never run into that in Key West. People are not sitting there judging you, which I really liked.
And if they do, they're the ones that aren't coming back. So bye.
Yeah. So goodbye. We'll see you later. Okay, let's say that I'm a potential buyer, so I reach out to Matt and Kristen. So what happens next?
Typically, Kristen works on the financing piece, and we work on qualifying kind of what you're looking for. Talk about the different areas, talk about the different keys, talk about the different property types, educate people about the insurances down here, like you met, because there's so much more to know about that than you're ever going to get used to in Minnesota. And then hopefully set up a time to go look at some stuff. And we do a lot of video tours down here also, because people can't just jump on a plane. I mean, I can't believe people buy houses. Literally like sight unseen, like a
$3 million. Yeah, they buy sight unseen.
That's not all bad.
No.
But again, we're not sitting here making stuff. I know we only got a couple of minutes left, but we're not sitting here making things up as we go along to make it look better. What Matt and Kristen have told you about it, what I've told you about it, Brittany, you've been down there. We're not making it up. It's a completely different feeling than I get pretty much anywhere else in the United States. And I'm not making that up. It's totally different. It's like it's not even a part of the United States. It's like its own island.
Yeah,
but it is. I mean, it is very nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably like the only place in the world that you can show a $4 million property and wear gym shorts, flip flops, and a t-shirt. And
Yeah. No, it's wild too. I was really nervous to go down there because, I know a lot of mantras like drinking, and I don't drink. And so I was like, am I not gonna, it was so my vibe because they just kind of mix in fun with family and and you can go whatever. And like I went for runs in the morning, and then I would walk around with Alex and her kids, and we'd be looking for different animals walking around because you'd have the chickens and the cats. So it was like so my vibe because it had it just really encompassed like I've been wanting to take Justin there for so long because I went with work with our other station. And I'm like, it's so beautiful and fun. And like, it's definitely one of those, like on my short list of, all right, this is a great vacation spot, especially now that we have a kiddo.
Oh, right.
It's a good spot this time of year, starting to get to, Brittany, if you do like to run, which I do. Because I mean, you can pretty much run every day of the year down here, except after 3:30 in the morning.
Not in August. You'd be hauled to the hospital.
Me and Matt will be out there sweating profusely. It's fine. We look great when we're almost dead.
No question. AJ and Tevin, you got any? No, neither one of you have ever been to Key West. Is that right?
Correct.
No, I have not.
Okay. Do you have any questions about it? Is there some impression of you have of Key West that you'd like to know if it's true or not?
Yeah, like for somebody that's like me, for instance, that at all times throughout the year, I'm basically wearing an additional sweater just by body fat. How hot does it actually get? Like, am I going to die of like exhaustion down there all the time, or is it like a comfortable warm?
It's comfortable because you've got water on all sides of you. If you go to Orlando or something in the middle of the summertime, it's extremely oppressive. And it gets hot here, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of humidity, but it never gets above like 90, 91, 92.
No, we have.
Not that that's not hot, but I mean.
The island is 2 by 4 miles, so the breeze is coming from the Atlantic. It's coming everywhere. So we do have a breeze. you're either in the pool or you're in the air conditioning, or you shave before you come down, so you.
Yeah, well, I think that's good advice in general and for AJ. Just
you guys can have a shaving party before he comes down. January, February, you would like those months.
Oh God, they're beautiful.
Yeah. Do you like music?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to a show tonight. So any live music, any stuff like that, if that's a common occurrence down in Key West, I'm there.
Every single day, the music starts at 8 a.m. It ends at 4 p.m. But, the venue that I was talking about, let me quick read you this and then I'll get off. It's called Rock Island Fest.
Okay.
It starts January 17th and goes to January 20th. Night Ranger, Mr. Big, Winger, Wigwam, Tom Kiefer, LA Guns, Brett Michaels, Dee Schneider, Jefferson Starship.
Phenomenal.
Stone Temple Pilots, Buck Cherry, Lit, Bowling for Soup, Trickster. I mean, this is an event that's why I started drinking the White Claw. I have to start prepping.
Yeah, you gotta. No, you have to.
But, we're also getting so many, and then we have Key Western Fest for all the country people. Same thing, 4 or 5 days in a row. We've got Willie Nelson coming down. I mean.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
What a great guy. You ever met him?
No. I could try and get you tickets.
Ooh, there you go.
I mean, he's coming soon. Let me see.
God, Willie Nelson at Key West. See, that's exactly what we're talking about. It's like you're going to be in Key West, one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in the world. And all of a sudden you're going to go see Willie Nelson by the ocean on Key West. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. And you should check out this. It's called Coffee Butler Amphitheater. And it holds about 4,000 people. But it's set, the backdrop is the ocean. There's not one bad seat in that place. It is.
Seeing Jimmy Buffett there this summer at the amphitheater I kind of hesitated on going, and I'm so happy that I didn't.
Me too.
Just never would be able to go, but it was so incredible. My parents were down, my husband Derek and I went. It was just like, the sunset, right there.
Oh yeah. Yep. That again. Evan?
Oh, I mean, Key West, I mean, you're essentially out in the middle of the ocean or whatever Gulf Coast, right?
Yeah.
So my mind would be, because you guys kind of mentioned the insurance aspect of it. Hurricanes, obviously a very real threat down in Florida. If I were to be purchasing a home, I'd be like, well, what's the likelihood that a hurricane is going to now wipe out my $3 million home that I just purchased? Are there, safeguards, or is it kind of rare? Do we have I guess an uneducated view of how hurricane damage regularly occurs down there? Or is there kind of safeguards that are put in place where you're not necessarily as exposed as we would think?
It's definitely about the building standards. I mean, we talk about impact doors and windows and, secondary water protection on your roof and, when was the house built? How high is it? Just all this extra stuff. The insurance is complicated because it comes right down to all these different factors. How far away from the water are you? We have different zones that are, flood prone, more than others.
With each hurricane, they keep building better and better and better. So I moved down here, 2 weeks before Hurricane Irma, which destroyed the Keys, and we didn't have air, we didn't have water. I'm missing my family. I'm thinking I'm laying here, and there's a porta potty in our living room, and I'm going. I cried myself to sleep, but then after, you just pull your bootstraps up, you start cleaning up, and we haven't had any now since, but going through what I went through, which was, devastating, I'd do it all over again. I would never go back to, I love Minnesota and my family's there, but this is home now. I love it here. And, just like I said, if a hurricane destroys an area, it gets built bigger and better, and it's, hopefully withstand.
One of my favorite hurricane stories of all time. We bought a house many years ago, 25 years ago, in West Palm. And a couple of years in, a hurricane passed over the area. And we had a woman that watched the house. So we're at the airport coming down to see the damage and all the rest of it. And she calls us and says, Tom, I hate to tell you, but your house is pretty much destroyed. And I'm like, really? I get down there. The bay window was broken. That was it. Where did you get the houses destroyed from that?
Oh, that was lucky. Yeah.
One window was broken. And she tells me the house, you're going to have to tear it down and start all over. Well,
but that's what everyone says. You know, they're so worried about the hurricanes. I said, I went home to Minnesota a few summers ago. There's 2 tornadoes within a week. Yep. And I said, and people were devastated with no notice. So weather is, you know, we can't escape it. So
many of these houses too, you guys were built in the mid 1800s, and there's been devastating storms, and they're still standing. They were built by shipbuilders. They just built them. Just built them differently, and you don't see those really ever get wrecked. I mean,
no.
The next time you guys pop on, we're gonna have to talk about things like, what's the name of that doll? Is it Freddy the doll? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you're supposed to like look at it, or what is it? You can curse for life.
Yeah, did you look at him, Brittany, when you went?
Oh, hell no. Kristen, I have enough bad luck in my life. Like I didn't even go. Everyone was like, we're gonna go. And I was like, that's cool. I was like, the power of Christ compels you as we'd walk by. Like, no, I'm good.
There is a doll that's in. Do they still put the doll in the cage? Because sometimes they tell me they take it out. They keep it in the cage.
That's on the ghost tour. Yeah.
And they say, the ghost tour, by the way, I'm glad you brought that up. Do not miss the ghost tour because it's phenomenal. It's so much fun. It's unbelievable. But so I'm there and I look up and it said, there's a sign on the wall that says, if you don't say hello, what's his name? Is his name Freddie? Jack? What the hell is his name?
Robert the doll.
It's Robert the doll. Yeah. Okay.
It was a very formal name for it. Was
But they claim if you don't say hello, Robert, how are you today, that he'll come and get you.
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that in my life.
Opening scene of a horror movie.
And you can't make eye contact with them.
No, you can't look him in the eye either. That's the other part.
So you have to look around. And like me, I always do the thing I'm not supposed to do. Like I just always. So I remember I did not go on the ghost tour. I'm good. I have a cat to ruin my life. I don't need a doll.
It is so much fun. It's unbelievable. There are so many things that I don't know. We got to get going here, but there's so many things about Key West that are so damn fun. And Catherine and I are going to come down this year. I know that. So we'll have to get something scheduled in advance. I love Florida anyway.
Yeah.
I just do. We used to go down. I think I told you earlier, used to go to Little Palm Island just about every year. And then we had kids and they don't let kids on the island. So we couldn't go anymore. I think you have to be like, don't you have to be like 18 to get on the island? Little Palm.
I don't know. Maybe 21. You know what?
Might be 21. Yeah.
I have free dinner on the island. So when you come, I'll hook us up. I've done some mortgages for the people that run Little Palm. So I have dinner. I'll hook us up and we'll go over there.
Well, let me put it this way to somebody who's never been there. When you drive up and park your car, the first thing they do is walk out and hand you a drink as you're going through the front door.
Hey, you can wear your new t-shirts too when we go. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to wear that t-shirt. I can't wait to inform anybody of my lack of preferences for male genitalia.
The great thing about that island is the Kennedy family. That island was just an island that just sat there. There was nothing on that island. And then they were going to make the movie PT 109. So John F. Kennedy's father bought the island, brought electricity, plumbing, everything out to that island. Yeah, the Kennedy family built that island. It was just a nothing island. And that was probably, about 1940, something like that, I think. I'm not sure about that. It was almost 100 years ago. I know that. But it has this, all of Florida, and you start from Key West and go all the way up to Jacksonville, which is a hell of a long way. There is so much history in Florida that people don't know about. It's amazing. But I'm not happy that Avendanzo closed because it was one of my favorite places. But I'm going to the new place with you, so never mind.
Yes.
Okay, now here's the important part. I know we all got to go here because I pushed this way. This is my fault. We went too long here. But how do people, because you said you've already had some people reach out to you. How do people reach out to you, Matt and Kristen?
Easiest way is just to go to the website, onekeywest.com, and you can find all of our information and search for homes or make a request, and our phone numbers, whatever, they're all on there.
No,
I'm on there too. So
yeah, we just put it all in one.
That's a good thing. So when you meet with the people today, tell them I said they better buy or there's going to be trouble.
Oh my God.
Okay, got it.
So,
all right. All right, come back soon. I'm sorry, but you talk about Key West, and I know I ramble on about all the different things, whether it's Robert the Doll or it's, honest to God, the whole place is just, we just love it, no question. So we'll talk to you again soon, and let me know how things are going, because I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, from Minnesota, you are not going to believe Key West. It is one of the most, again, Harry Truman wanted to build it with the second White House down there, so it can't be too bad, right?
No.
That's true. Come back again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
Great talking to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Carlson and Kristen Eklund, they're down Coast to Coast Mortgage is where she is. And of course, you got onekeywest.com is what Matt was talking about. And by the way, I'm not just doing a sell job. I don't do that bullshit. I don't go, oh, you should go down and I don't really like it, or it's not as great as I'm saying it is. I don't do that kind of stuff. Well, Brittany, how many times did you go to Key West?
I've only been once.
Just
and
once.
like me and Justin have been trying to plan a vacation for a while. And that's on our list, especially because, my mom lives in Fort Myers. We could fly in there and then drive over there. It really is fun. I have to say, I liked it. It was more accessible than some of the other places we've gone for work.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like that it's very kid friendly. Like, it is very family vibe. Yeah. And people want to drink in the middle of the day is fine too. Like, it was a weird merging of worlds that I really liked.
Well, and let me just throw this out there. If you happen to be a gay person, you're going to love it, because there are certain bars where apparently you can take all your duds off and just hang out the whole night.
Yeah.
Which is pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah, sure.
Nobody gets judged there. That's the number one thing. I don't care what your orientation is, what your color is, what your sex, any of it, sex, nobody judges you there, which they just don't have time. I'm too happy to be judging anybody else like some prick that you've run into.
Yeah, I think that you're right. I think you're onto something, is finding a group of people that are happy.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to find themselves wanting to take you down in some weird way. And that is the vibe there. That's for sure. It seems like everyone's happy and everyone has their own little things going on. Like, we were talking to people that love scuba diving and they were really into that. And the other people were into historic building. It was just, everybody had their thing and they were fine with it.
What are those things called again? You the kind of scooters you ride on the water. What are those called?
Like a jet ski?
A jet ski, I guess. Yeah. Because when we were down there several years ago, Andy decided to take a jet ski out into the ocean.
Oh my God.
When he came back, he's like, I'll never do that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, apparently there's a lot of like this out there, and that's just the way it is. But yeah, matter of fact, Catherine and I are going to go down to Key West this year, because it's been a few years now, and it just pisses me off that insurance is they're not letting people do anything anymore.
You mean like for ours, go bring the show down there? You're thinking? Yeah.
Yep. You can't do that stuff anymore, which really pisses me off. I don't like that at all. Right.
I'm with you. That sucks.
But I suppose people sued the piss out of other people. And I mean, whatever. But great memories. I have magnificent memories of that place. I better shut up, or I'll never shut up about Key West, because I got to be honest with you. I just love it. Always have and always will. So we'll take a break and be right back and continue with the show.
This is the Tom Barnard Show.
You know the song Kokomo? It's supposed to be off the Florida Keys, right? Hate to break your Beach Boys bubble, but that's a fictitious place they made up for the song. Fortunately for the rest of us, the Florida Keys island chain are as real as the taxes you have to pay in Minnesota if you're a resident. Now that's a reason to move south. In addition to Florida and all of Monroe County being beautiful, the Keys from Key Largo to Key West are even more beautiful. This is Tom Barnard, part-time Florida resident myself. And if you want a second house or a new retirement home, or want to become a Floridian, may I suggest you contact Matt Carlson from One Key West Realty. Matt grew up in Litchfield. He's a super real estate agent when it comes to finding your tropical island space in the Keys. He lives there and here, and Matt knows what's best in Key West to buy. for your second home in Florida. Matt teamed up with fellow Minnesotan from Sartell and Alexandria, Kristen Eklund, who's one of the top mortgage brokers in the country from Coast to Coast Mortgage. She'll get you the financing you need to buy a home in Florida or in Minnesota. Matt's part of the Lake Sotheby's International Realty Group here in Minnesota, and Kristen, his mortgage colleague, lives and works in the Keys, so they both know the Florida Keys' new and existing homes for sale and are Minnesotan through and through. Contact them by heading to onekeywest.com. That's onekeywest.com. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Tom here, and I want to discuss a partnership that has been wonderful in my life, Zero Res Carpet Care. Very good friends of mine. Nothing is better to someone with a family than having a completely clean home. Your carpet is the biggest filter in your house. If you want to talk about pet dander or foot traffic, dirt from the outside, they all eventually reside in your carpet. So, Zero Res Carpet Care. Listen, around the holidays, you need to contact ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZEROREZ. That's 952-ZERO-RES. They clean your home with their electrolyzed pH-elevated water that doesn't use chemicals or soaps that smell like a janitor's closet like other cleaning services. How about a Tom Barnard deal? Well, here it is. Get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at $129, and don't forget your air ducts. Mention me, and they'll discount your air vents by $75 too. This is for the entire month, so call them right now, 952-0-RES, backward or forwarded, spells the same, or book online, ZeroResMinnesota.com. If it's available, ask for them to come to your place in the Tom Barnard named service truck. What an honor that was, by the way. Just mention me by name and get the special deal to get your home clean and your heart happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I'm telling you, the one thing I must mention about a lot of the United States, they don't allow Jews from Detroit to come there. That's the one thing.
We need to adopt that for the studio.
I'm only pretending to be from Detroit.
Yeah,
that's true. You only pretend to be from Detroit.
Prestige. That's exactly right. I meet people on the street and they say, "Oh, wow, you must be from Detroit." And but a lot of people during the baseball season became angry when they saw me wearing the Detroit cap, and I kept saying, "Why are you angry? Why are you Detroit? The Twins got to beat Detroit into the ground if they're going to make it to the playoffs." And I said, that's why you should love Detroit, because that's what's going to happen.
Right.
So what's wrong with that?
There's a rivalry there.
Not exactly. Andy joins us. Mike Gelfand joins us. Had a nice time talking about Andy. We were just talking about you on the jet ski out there in the ocean by Key West. Did you say it was really like a lot of up and down and that kind of stuff?
Oh, it's a lot of up and down. That's for sure.
I'm sure you love that.
Yeah,
you liked it though, didn't you, Andy?
It's one of those it's a good thing to experience, but I'm probably good for a lifetime or two.
As far as this jet skiing, but you loved Key West.
We like Key West a lot.
It's a wonderful spot. You ever been there, Galfano? Well, you were there with us, weren't you?
No. I
didn't go.
I've never been, but I'd like to go.
Oh, you should. You would. You know why you'd be so happy? Because nobody bothers you there. They will not. They don't get in your face about anything. It says, "Hey, good to see you. How you doing? Would you like a drink?" Well, it's 7 a.m. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking you. Would you like a drink?
Well, I would be the acid test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the way you were describing it, it sounded really great until you got to the part about going into a bar with your clothes off, and then I thought, I don't know if I'd like that.
No, that's a different deal. They don't. You can't be outside naked, but they go up on the roof where nobody can see them, and apparently a lot of naked men up there.
Yeah.
I actually have to say, in a disappointed tone, I didn't see one dong along while I was there.
Not one.
One dong along.
Damn it! What are you gonna do?
Next visit.
So, Mr. Gelfand, Andy, anything new in the world since just before you got here?
Since 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago, exactly.
No breaking news that I'm aware of.
No, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of breaking news. I got to read this one story because if this is the guy I'm thinking it is, he's been getting away with this for decades. Fertility doctor takes his job a little too literally. Is this that same guy that's impregnated like 300 women with his own sperm?
That guy's in prison.
Well, that guy's dead, I thought.
That guy's dead now?
Maybe both.
Yeah, because they did a big documentary on him, and he wasn't in it. And I think he was dead.
Yeah, that was the Our Father documentary. Was he from? Yeah. He was from like Wisconsin, Chicago, wasn't he? Was he a Midwest guy or no?
I think you might be right.
Well, he's Donald Klein, who's who you're thinking
Indiana.
of.
Indiana.
He's dead, but his DNA lives on.
Oh, they did it was I forget how many people.
It was like almost 100, I believe.
94. He's not dead, by the way.
He's not
dead. No, he is. He's also not in prison.
That seems weird that we would let him out.
Yeah, I would say so. He's 85, so I guess not going to be doing a lot of fathering, I don't think,
Is
anymore.
he back practicing as a fertility doctor?
Probably
not. He is prohibited from reinstatement by the Medical Licensing Board of Indiana.
No, those people are so harsh.
They are. It's like, be cool.
It was a big misunderstanding.
Also, he could do something else, like be a podiatrist or something.
Yeah, he could be.
He wasn't even convicted of what he did. He was convicted of obstruction of justice and got a 1-year suspended sentence.
Oh,
that's it.
So probably not so great lawyers, maybe a bad judge. Someone messed up, I would say.
Yeah, that seems like somebody dropped the ball.
The good news is if he tried to hide, let's say he was in the forest, you could just follow the trail.
That's true.
Pretty much true. So his name came up because there's a different story now. Boston area fertility doctor sued after allegedly secretly impregnating woman with his own sperm. How do you say that? Is Sarah Depoyan? D-E-P-O-I-A-N-S? Depoyan-S? Depoyans?
D-E what?
D-E-P-O-I-A-N.
Oh, Depoyan?
Sarah Depoyan.
Maybe?
That's a great
I hope it's not to pee on.
Oh, it could be to pee on.
Yeah.
Could be.
Hey, here's Sarah to pee on. I like that. That works for me. Her daughter allegedly discovered that oh God, she was impregnated by Dr. Merle Berger.
Oh,
Merle Berger.
Gave her the old burger.
Yeah. Hey, how'd you like a Merle burger? We'll skip lunch today, huh?
A lot of mayonnaise on that burger. Thank you very much.
I was going to ask Tom. I was going to say, was it IVF or IUI?
I don't know what you're talking about.
IVF.
Okay.
I don't know what IUI is, but it was IVF or IVF.
Well, you
fertility.
IUI is like
a turkey baster.
Yeah, like it's the formality of that. And IVF, at least like it's the egg is inseminated outside of the body.
Well, in vitro, that's vitrium would mean glass, so that's what that means.
Oh, there you go.
IUI, intrauterine
insemination.
Well, there you go. That makes sense.
Indeed, around Boston area fertility doctors facing a federal lawsuit from a former patient who alleges he secretly impregnated her with his own sperm during an artificial insemination procedure decades ago. In a lawsuit filed Wednesday in Boston federal court, Maine resident Sarah Depoyan explained that she and her husband went to Dr. Merle Berger the now retired co-founder of Boston IVF, in 1980 for help getting pregnant. She had it tested and found out it was his sperm that he impregnated her with. Why would he do that?
There must be a weird power about it, right? Like it's got to be a power thing. If you're really an altruist, maybe his semen count was down and he thought he was being helpful. You know what I mean? Like in a crazy mindset.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying he was right. I'm saying that like that is like a really, if your whole goal is to get somebody pregnant and you decide that you have to put it on you, which is a very terrible mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's either got to be a power thing or like I'll fix this, or I don't know. It's nuts.
Well, the whole situation here is very ad hoc and weird to begin with.
Yeah.
So they weren't trying to get her pregnant with her husband's sperm.
They weren't.
No, they were not.
The idea was that Dr. Berger would find some medical resident who looked like her husband and use that medical resident's sperm.
Well, maybe he looked like her husband when he was younger.
Well, that's the thing. It's like technically all he said was, yeah, we'll get you pregnant with someone at this hospital. Which it's like, that's a weird thing to agree to begin with.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she really has a case, honestly, in this point.
Maybe he dropped the initial sample and panicked and was like, well, what do I do now? Well, time to whip it out and shine.
Yeah, there you go.
They were just like, he dropped it and goes, oh no, I'm in a pickle.
Well, you know,
I've got no other choice.
It is kind of a power thing. I mean, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You know, Genghis Khan impregnated like 10,000 women.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Fathering a jillion children is like the number one thing that dictators and warlords do.
And rappers.
And rappers, yes. It is. It's definitely like one of those like primal male power things for sure.
I could see that. No question. Boston's having a rough week. I don't know what the hell's going on in Boston. You got this Dr. Merle Berger impregnating women with his own sperm. I don't know if you know this, Gail fan, but you're not invited to the Boston mayor's holiday party this year. You know why?
And what would be the reason for that, Tom?
Because you're white. She
Well,
literally sent out
enough
invitations. She literally sent out invitations to a party that said no whites. Why would you do something like that? Explain it. And again, you don't even get pissed off about it. I just laugh about it. How stupid are you?
Well, if it's a personal party, technically she's allowed to be racist about it.
Nope. It was the mayor's Christmas party.
Oh, well, then she is going to get sued into the ground.
You would think so.
I would hope anyway.
Why in 2023, almost 2024, why in the hell would you even do something like that anyway?
You don't think it was maybe ironic humor? Probably not. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think it was ironic.
It's a very, very funny thing to joke about. Segregation.
I mean, why would you think? And by the way, I'd like to mention that Michelle Wu, who's Asian, her husband is white.
Yeah, you see that a lot, actually, these anti-white racists who are married to white men.
Oh, yeah.
Very strange.
What? Tell me more about this. I don't know about this.
That's basically all there is to it. There's a lot of very, like, extremely woke women out there who crusade against whiteness and then go and, like, seek out white men to have sex with or marry.
It works the other way, too, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's very strange.
What do you mean it works the other way?
Well, I mean, it's both. You might get this from the husband or the wife.
Really?
The multiracial family, yeah.
Well, I think it's also a lot of it is kind of like the infamous story of the preacher who is very anti-gay and then gets, caught in a bathhouse kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
They're using bigotry to mask feelings that they are uncomfortable with.
Yeah, but that's one case. There's only about 10,000 of them anyway, so.
No, 10,000 anecdotes don't make a data, except actually they do.
Yeah, I would think so.
But the one thing I do like about that is I've gotten to the point in my life now where I find this to be hilarious that somebody's that stupid or prejudiced or whatever. That used to piss me off when I'd see things like that. Now I just laugh at how stupid people really can be.
And that's really the thing about it, Tom, is that it's just the stupidity part is the part that you really can't get over.
Right.
I mean, it's not the bigotry, it's just the stupidity.
Right. Yeah. The execution on, if you don't want, white people or whatever group of people at your party, you shouldn't put that on the invitation. You just don't send them an invitation in the first place. And guess what? They're not going to show up to your party.
Okay. So
right.
Things are getting a little distorted on this story because the big thing was, and this isn't good, but it said that the invitation said, behalf on Mayor Michelle Wu, I cordially invite you to a guest to the Electeds of Color holiday party on Wednesday, December 13th.
Electeds of Color?
So that was,
makes no sense.
it doesn't say no whites, but that was the line that everybody then took away saying that.
No. It said no whites.
I
They're changing the story.
I keep looking everything about it.
I understand. Well, try to find it in the Star Tribune. Try to find that story in the Star Tribune this morning. Good luck to you.
No, I saw it the other day in the New York Times.
Oh yeah,
I didn't see it in the Star Tribune. I have to admit.
No, it's not there.
New York Times.
But yet, so they changed it up on you, Brittany. She absolutely said no whites.
So was this her party? That made it sound like someone else had arranged for it.
Yeah, it does sound. It says on behalf of the mayor. So,
but once again, this is all coming out now, several days later, because she got caught with the cookies from the jar. Or whatever. No, they're changing the story, which is what these far left and far right people do now. They do something and then, oh, wait a minute, I might get busted for this. So I'll just change the story and say, oh, that never happened. It's bullshit. It said no whites right on the invitation.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, like whether it's the New York Post or like Fox News, the picture they're showing that they must have all cropped out the no whites thing. Cause it says just electeds of color.
Electeds of color.
Well, luckily for her, there are now, and there are going to be many more openings for university presidents.
Kind of looks. Why? Just because they're anti-Jew? Is that what you're saying, Mike?
I think it was okay to be anti-Jew. It's just the genocide part.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem.
That's where you go. That's when you just go a little bit too far.
So according to the New York Post, the electeds of color in question refer to the invitees.
Yeah.
So the people, it was sent out to members of the Boston City Council, but only the non-white ones were invited.
That's correct.
So in other words, 90% of them.
It's about half, actually.
Oh yeah,
about half. Yeah.
Well, Boston, of course, now there's a city that's been cleaved right down the middle for a long time.
This is very true.
Probably the most racist city among all the certainly in the NBA. And also, when I covered the Boston Red Sox, I mean, it was incredible. Like, Jim Rice would get booed when he came up to bat. Jim Rice, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest players ever. And boy, did he hate Boston.
He did. There's no question about it.
I think I told you the story. My sports editor told me, "Oh, when you go to Boston, I want you to interview Jim Rice." And I just laughed. I said, he hates every member of the media. He's well, just try. I said, okay, fine. So I went up to Jim Rice. He was combing his hair. His hair was fantastic, by the way.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it.
It was like it was carved, He was like a sculptor. And so he's got this little mirror, this tiny mirror that's taped to his locker room door, is his locker door. And so he's looking at his hair. He's getting everything just right. And I said, hey, Mr. Rice, I'm wondering if I introduced myself. Wondering if I could ask you a couple questions. He never made eye contact. He had no idea who was talking to him. He just kept on combing, and he said, "Nope,
nope." I remember you telling me that story.
Check you later.
He told me that story years ago. I just, let's focus on the media for 1 second, because this is a prime example of if you tune to one channel, it happened. If you tune to the other channel, nope, that never happened. It's a lie. Our news lies to us constantly now on a daily basis, depending on which news you're looking at.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
It's really weird. Like, I feel like because they put no whites, you're talking about in that, right? Or is that what you're referring to right now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They put no whites in the title of the articles, but it doesn't, I think that's inferred in the email. And so it is super misleading about it.
Yeah, and it sounds like after reading the invitation, it sounds like she tried to do because you'll get black business leaders of or whatever minority group where they try to do like a whatever, we're going to have Black small business owners gather and talk about how we can, move business forward type of thing. So it sounds like you try to do something similar to that with, a Christmas party, and then it got taken out of, blown out.
Well, it sounds like politics, basically. But you got to remember, half the newspaper stories you read now were not written by a human being.
That's true. That is true, and
it's only going to get worse.
Well, most of them, it's like one of the articles was written by a person, and then a bot copied it onto their website, and then another bot copied that second copy onto their website.
Yeah.
And after a while, you get an incomprehensible mess.
And that's what happens with a lot of news is someone writes a story, and then other people pick up on the story, and they take something from the original story, which isn't true, but then it becomes true because everybody else who writes the story in the future will just see that story and will attach the thing that isn't true to it.
And in this case, the thing that was true got taken out. I mean, that's just a fact. It's looking back a couple of days. That's a complete. Although, what's the line at the very end again about people of color, or what is it?
Oh, because everybody screenshotted the invitation. It says on there, electants of color.
Electeds of color.
So that would mean no whites. So what's the difference?
It literally does mean no whites. Yes.
Yeah. So what's the difference if you put no whites or that?
Well, I think it's weird. The retraction. I think the retraction's weird because I've been invited to like, Black business, small business, dinners or whatever. With people we've had on the show. So I don't think it's that weird to get invited to something like that.
But you can pass. Let's face it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's crazy to be invited to something like that.
Yeah.
But it's weird when she's like, hey guys, JK, you were secretly not invited.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you're allowed to have a party based on like, Black businesses or whatever.
Yeah.
But you are not allowed to segregate it.
Yeah. That's where it gets really
weird.
weird.
You can say like, sure, everyone's invited. Most people who show up probably are going to be Black because it makes sense. You're not allowed to say, if you're not Black, get the hell out.
It's like if we take
and that's
away,
what she did.
Yeah, like this is maybe less hot topic to say like women business owners luncheon. And but could be a bunch of men there too, but like it would be weird.
Offended. You're saying no men?
I never said no men, but
you said a women's
the
conference.
food would be better. The food would be better if there's no men there.
This is a classic case of white lining.
White lining, get it? Let me put it this way. There are many, many people now because of certain news organizations, because they get filthier the longer they go on. There are many, many people right now that believe the Holocaust never happened.
Dang.
Oh, yeah.
How on earth would you put that in your newspaper, on your TV station, whatever? How could you believe that 13 million people were not executed, 6 million and 6.5 million of them were Jews? How do you not believe that?
I hope I'm never in a situation where that casually comes up as somebody's belief, because that would be an insane situation. If you're having like dinner with somebody, like, well, these potatoes are great. The Holocaust wasn't real. Is your dog a black lab? Like something like putting it in somewhere, because I don't even know how I'd react to that. Because like, what are you talking
What's the
about?
thing? It's like, are people discussing the verisimilitude of the Holocaust, in day-to-day conversation?
I don't think so. I have not come across a person like that.
I have never in my life had a conversation about the Holocaust at the dinner table. I can tell you that much.
But the thing is, what you got to take into consideration is that there are a lot of people who get their news from 4chan.
And what is that?
They probably used to, but nowadays they only get.
That's the QAnon. That's the QAnon site.
They get certain illegal materials from 4chan is what they get.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But the point is, if people are never exposed to like history,
reality,
and there's a lot of these people who have never been exposed to history of any kind.
No, that is true. And once again, Mike, that's what I was just thinking about. It'd be very hard to convince me to ever hate Jews, or there was no Holocaust, or this never happened, blah, blah, blah. Because as a little boy, I would see person after person, men and women, with tattoos on their arms because of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Where did all those tattoos come from? Is that a fake now? They're saying those are fake?
Well, they got it from a tattoo parlor on Nicollet Avenue. Yeah.
On Nicollet Avenue. Yeah, exactly.
I wonder actually if there's like a tattoo artist's code where you're not allowed to make a fake Holocaust barcode.
I would hope so.
I would hope so too.
Although if you see someone like a 20-year-old walking around with one of those, you're probably going to be like,
Could you even imagine?
Yeah, but a lot of these people get their tattoos, the fake tattoos. They get them in prison. Remember that?
Yeah, they do.
They're made of beet juice.
Yeah, or printer ink, which will give you methanol poisoning.
Other than that, though, it's good. And look, I'm not even pissed off about this. I think it's just hilarious that people are this stupid. And the other thing that I've gotten, because I try to catch up on the news, and there are places you can do it, but let's say, and I'm not putting one above the other. I'm just going, so I'll go, it's either Fox to CNN or CNN to Fox. You see the same story, and it's 100% different from channel to channel. The sun just came up. No, it didn't. Like, what is that?
Yeah, we're back to the age of unenlightenment.
Absolutely.
And we just flipped. And I think a lot of it, because I'm prejudiced about this, a lot of it is because newspapers, we talk about how people don't read newspapers anymore.
Right.
Well, they barely exist anymore. Now look at the St. Paul paper. That's part of a 65, I believe, newspaper chain run by a hedge fund. So they come in, they say, okay, well, we're going to grind every penny out of this. So the St. Paul newspaper, like basically now is like what, maybe 10 or 15% of what it used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen it. It's like 4 pages, right?
Yep.
And so you're not going to get a whole lot of news from 4 pages. And, if you want to call the newspaper and make a complaint, first of all, you'll be talking to someone in the Philippines, because that's where that hedge group, that's where all the calls wind up, the consumer calls wind up in the Philippines. So you're talking to someone who's not really aware of what's going on in St. Paul, that's for sure. And most of these newspapers now have about maybe 25% of the employees that they had when they were purchased by the hedge fund. Yeah, I mean that's the standard thing. So that's just another piece of Americana that's been dismantled by greed.
Absolutely true. I know we got to take a break here, but I just looked up, and Tevin, you and I are ruining the holiday because Brittany is in green, Andy's in red, Mike brought his red coat. So they're all celebrating Christmas, but you and I sit around and ruin the holiday. And not only that, I'm wearing a Banff Canada sword. That's even worse.
Oh, gross.
I love Banff. I had a chance to go there once. I was covering a story, and it was like 3 days when I didn't have to take my antidepressants or my antacids.
Yeah, beautiful. The Banff Springs Hotel. Is there a better hotel in the world?
Oh yeah, I was there.
Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. You remember that, don't you, Andy?
Oh yes, I do.
It's like a castle.
I remember we saw a porcupine.
We saw a porcupine.
Oh, where else did you see a porcupine?
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. It's very, very true. Kristen Burtt will join us right after this, ladies and gentlemen. The holiday shopping season is happening right now, and you can save up to 70% off your shopping with the Tom Barnard Holiday Online Auction, December 8th through the 14th. Auction items include e-bikes from EcoFun, and I know it's EcoFun, but I keep saying EcoFun. E-bikes from EcoFun Motorsports, a 9x12 cargo trailer from Pleasureland RV, a Canadian fishing trip at Fletcher Lake Resort. It's all great stuff. They got a whole bunch more of these things. Visit TomBarnardShow.com and enter keyword auction to view items and bid. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword auction. Bidding ends today, December 14th. You have all helped support MyPillow and their employees in these tough economic times. Mike Lindell knows this and continues to give back to listeners with great deals on his most popular products. Right now, you can save 50% on Queen and King pillows and the original My Slippers, and the MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. The proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you look for in a towel. Set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. Regular price is $79.98. And for a limited time, you can get this 6-pack towel set for only $39.99 with promo code TOM. That's a 50% savings. So go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to save 50% on the MyPillow 6-pack towel sets. That is just $39.99 for a set.
This deal will not last long. Enter promo code Tom for this special and many more. I'm so happy to welcome back our longtime friend, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, for many years, and I completely trust Sabre to keep my house comfortable. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. I love the team at Sabre because their service experts are experienced NATE certified technicians, not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need, when they need it, at the fair price, keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank. Give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you just like they've taken care of me and my family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced, or just simply need a service call to get you going again, go to saberheating.com. That's SABRE heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes.
Guys, if you want to reignite your intimacy once and for all, listen, just give Twin Cities Premier Health a call for a discreet and confidential in-office evaluation by their highly trained staff of medical professionals. Acoustic wave therapy sessions are 25 to 30-minute treatments with no pain, no downtime afterward. And right now, Twin Cities Premier Health is offering a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. Receive this $800 value when you use code word TOM at TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. You may know that age-related erectile dysfunction is most commonly caused by a buildup of plaque in the arteries that supply blood to the erectile tissue. Acoustic wave therapy can rescue your relationship and has been clinically proven to break up plaque. Definitely take advantage of this limited time special offer. Receive a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is a savings of $800 when you use code word TOM at TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Be sure to use promo code TOM so we get credit for sending you. I wouldn't recommend a service like this unless I knew they could help you. TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Kristyn Burtt now joins us, but we've got the edict from her. No white men can be on, so Andy and Mike and I have to step aside because of the new edict, like in Boston. Your favorite town. Anyway, nice mayor you got.
Old or new? They've all been problematic.
That's true.
Well, that's a good point. That's a very good point, actually.
We actually have some news relevant to Kristen to talk about.
Uh-oh, what is it?
It's an article from the Daily Mail about artificial intelligence news anchors. And they have a video on here with a bunch of AI-generated news anchors talking about things. One of them is Kristen.
Oh, my God. Did you know they were going to do this?
It looks exactly like
I worked with them.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I am not signing away my likeness without getting paid and knowing what the usage was for.
Right. This is like a trial thing where they're seeing, how this could work. Because
for Channel 1. And for me, I really wanted to do a project where I knew I had control over my image and understand where this is going, because this is happening. And if you don't, you're not going to beat them. You got to join them. You got to figure this out and understand it right off the bat. And this is done with a group that is looking to utilize AI journalists. It's going to be real people reading the news, but then they're going to use the image and tailor it to certain stories. But they want to do it responsibly.
I mean,
that is the plan.
I think I can put up this image here. It's a screen grab from the AI generated Dealy. It's not a great screen grab, but here it is.
No, it's a horrible screen grab.
This is an AI generated image of Kristen. It's not actually Kristen.
I can see the resemblance.
You can tell that it's not real.
It's just like bad lighting and not great makeup.
It's
but
very close, I
you.
think. Yeah.
Well, but wait a second. The one thing is very obvious. The face is crabby, so I know it's her.
Exactly. I look like I'm like, I think Daily Mail grabbed it like while I was talking or something. So it's like,
right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I remember when TiVo first came out, a game we used to play, as it were, was like we would go to the news and we would just hit pause and the faces would always look stupid as hell.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And,
I was
play,
like,
and then we hit pause again, and it's like taking a screen grab of someone mid talk. It just always looks bad every time. I don't know why.
Especially if you're very animated. Like I'll go back and cut clips of this show, and like Kristen will be telling a great story, and I'll be trying to pause it, and then she'll be making some hand gesture and her mouth's wide open. Of like, okay,
it's what's known as you've been Rudy Giuliani'd.
Oh, that's true.
I don't have my hair dye running down my face though.
Oh, thank God. Oh God, remember that?
That's
Yeah.
great.
I told
That
you,
was-
I met Rudy a couple of times. One of the most unfriendly people I have ever met. God,
he
he's young.
sober?
I couldn't tell. I think he was, but he is not a friendly man in person at all. I mean, it's
what
weird.
a mess. His legacy is so complicated because
Yeah.
his personal life is really messy. I lived in New York City while Giuliani was there, and he was so well loved because he really cleaned up
Yep.
the city.
He did.
And then, of course, he was America's mayor during 9/11. And then just things went off the rails from there. You know, I mean, he's disbarred at this point. It's really a weird, crazy, tragic American tale in the end.
He's like America's Moyle now. It's like the most important part of him has been cut in half.
In half, that's a pretty bad moil.
Yeah, there are a lot of them out there.
I suppose so.
I mean, if you've ever been in the locker room with the Jewish communities, no, I'm just kidding.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
When I lived in New York City, I used to be able to travel alone as a female on the subway at like 2:30 in the morning, no problems. When he was mayor, I don't think I would do that now.
No, you absolutely. He did clean up New York. I thought he was going to be probably president someday because of what he did with New York City. I thought he probably would, but after I met him, I understood why he never did reach those heights, because he's a prick. He's not a nice person.
Yeah, I've never met him, but you can see him get a little curmudgeonly even in press interviews. He gets a little snippy.
No doubt about it. So yeah, what are you going to do, Rudy? So is Rudy going to prison, or is he not going? Everybody, is there anybody, Republican or Democrat, in high office who's not going to prison? Is there anybody left?
He might not go to prison, but he will definitely be broke by about 100 times.
But he needs to do what George Santos is doing, is go on Cameo. George Santos is making a fortune on Cameo.
That's right.
Yeah.
Why? Who would hire that jerk?
He's charging like $300. Although I have to say, a bunch of them have popped up on TikTok, and he's really funny.
Really?
And making fun of his legal situation, and just threatening to just burn everything down in Washington, which I can't disagree with. So
Jimmy Kimmel hired him to do a bunch of them. It would just have insane things, and he just read them off like
that was great.
Nothing, and it was so funny. It's it is the perfect job for him. Is like anything else he can't do, but he could do cameos for sure.
So
and
you guys,
to answer your question though, Chris, who would hire him? The voters.
Yeah.
No. You know who's going to hire him? Hollywood. Celebrity Big Brother. Where do we think he's going to turn up? Masked Singer? He won't turn up on Dancing with the Stars because they've kind of shied away from politics because it's been a disaster for them. But think about, they had Rudy Giuliani on Masked Singer. Why wouldn't they have George Santos?
He should be on Dancing with the Stars because he's very light-footed.
Let me think that through. I'll get back to you. In any case, yeah, I don't know. Our politicians, and we always knew politicians were filthy anyway. I mean, I'm a prime example of that. I have known many, many politicians on both sides of the aisle. Some of them asked me to endorse them on the old Q morning show, which I did. Not one of them stays in touch. And once they won, I never heard from them again. Politicians are the worst people. They're just bad attorneys. Our politicians are just attorneys who are not very good at being an attorney. That's what we have now, right?
Yeah.
Or reality stars. Or wannabe reality stars.
Yeah. Or wannabe reality stars. Yeah. I don't know. I really hope we can start finding better people, because our politicians now are dreadfully bad on all sides too. Right?
Pretty much. Welcome to 2024 ahead of us. Can't wait.
Oh, God, here it comes. Here it comes. Honest to God. All right. So what else is happening in Hollywood that doesn't piss everyone off?
Don't worry. There's plenty of other news. But speaking of Masked Singer, just since we're on the topic, did anyone see that John Oates was the anteater? I don't watch the show, but last night he was unmasked, and I was like, how do they figure out that Daryl Hall and John Oates are going to have a big fight, and that John Oates goes on Masked Singer? Because this was filmed back in August, he said. So it's kind of unbelievable how timely they were with all of this.
Unbelievable in the literal sense? Perhaps.
Well, both. I mean, I think it's one of those situations that like how they got John Oates to go on the show. I mean, they're pretty good at getting some like B-list instead of like D-list celebrities on Masked Singer. And that he now is tied into the current trending news with his big old beef with Daryl Hall.
I still love the fact that people are good because, again, I worked at Capitol Records for many, many years. A lot of those people like duets, trios, even bands. They can't stand one another. It's actually quite common.
Yeah, it's a lot of time with each other and a lot of big egos and a lot of yes men telling each other the other one's right. I mean, I could see me turning on people pretty quickly as well.
And because people think, oh, you were in a boy band, it must be, your group of friends that you grew up with. No, they're hand selected. They all wanted to be an individual star in most cases. And they're like, well, we're going to package you together with these other people you don't know.
But look at the Eagles now. I understand that the current version of the Eagles, a couple of them are willing to look at each other.
That's what I hear. That's true.
But it's the whole thing about familiarity, breeds contempt.
Yes, it does.
But also remember, usually one is the breakout star in the group, and then everyone starts getting jealous. It's always like the good-looking guy that winds up on the magazine covers, and people start to get really pissed.
Is Don Felder the one such a prick in the Eagles? Is he the one that doesn't like anybody but himself?
I don't know.
I think they were pretty much all like that when they were, when they were really, really going great. Now they're not going great. Did you go to see them when they were in town, Tom?
Yeah.
Yep.
So did they seem friendly on stage?
Not at all.
No, not at all. Each other, huh?
The great thing
go
about
and look at the drama with like Fleetwood Mac. Like everybody was sleeping together, and then
but they've done it right because they fought. They got so mad at each other. And now they perform songs about each other, being pissed about each other while making eye contact while playing. And you go, you know what? If they can keep doing it, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like your little fight.
Well, Stevie Nicks, come on. She's got like a lot of fire. She's got a lot of things to burn. And she's like, let me show you.
And like, it's so funny, Tom, too. When like, if you watch videos of Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks will look at Lindsey Buckingham and be like, break eye contact with me. I dare you. And they both are just like playing. And it's like, everybody in the room is like tension, but we also love it.
It's super sexy though. Come on. It's like super sexy watching the chemistry between them even decades later because it's still there. And they just know that it's magic when they're together, but at the same time, it's also completely a hot mess. And they could never go back to that.
Isn't that an amazing story? I suppose, though, if you spend every day of your life, whether it's in a bus or on an airplane or on stage or at the hotel or whatever, spending every day of your life with somebody who's not your family's got to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well, that's why the Beatles were so great. They channeled all their contempt onto Yoko and not each other.
That's true.
Seemed to work, didn't it?
At least she had it coming, so that's good.
Well, right.
No question about it. I don't know. I saw a lot of that when I was working at Capitol Records. It's people they wouldn't even look at each other. And then you'd run into people like Bob Seger. Could not have been a nicer guy. He used to take him to Twins games once in a while. He was just a great guy, wonderful guy, very successful.
Yeah.
And other people maybe not so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know why it gets like that. I really don't understand why people get like that in the first place, but they do. So, I want to run something by. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think Kristen can tell us about this someday. It does seem like fame and wealth does make people just angry.
Yes.
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah,
well,
if you're
I think
known,
you lose control. You know what I mean? And I think that's the one thing. Like when you become very famous, fame, even though it's like addicting, and they call it a drug. At the same time, your whole world changes, and you can suddenly not go to the grocery store. You can't go to the grocery store at 2 a.m. You can't go to the grocery store at 10 a.m. And if you do, you better have like a full face of makeup now. If you're, someone who wears a lot of makeup, because you don't want to be like, oh my God, they caught me on my worst day. Because I go to the grocery store all the time, like in my slippers and like my hair on my head and like this is it on my face. I don't care. But when you're so famous, you start to live in a bubble. And I think when a lot of people criticize the Kardashians, I'm like, they have to live in a bubble because they can't do normal things anymore. And once you're in that bubble, you start to lose all touch with reality and what normal life is like.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Absolutely no question about it. I mean, I remember, I'm obviously not comparing, this to any big superstars in the world or whatever. But even if you're known very well in your own town, I mean, I remember times we'd go out to dinner and Andy would look at me and go, why is this happening? Because people would just come and sit down at the table with you.
Yes, they would.
Remember that?
That's crazy.
So I can't even imagine what it must be like to be like known around the world where you can't go anywhere. And it's not that it's a massive pain in the ass, but you don't expect people to just come and grab a chair and sit at your table with you.
The ultimate, I would say, humiliation especially during the early years of the former morning show when it was just exploding. For me, the worst part was that people would come up to me and say, "Hey, do you mind? You mind signing this for me?" And I'd sign my name, and they'd say, "Oh, I thought you were Bob Sansevier."
I like that story. Because you and Sandy do look a lot alike. There's no question about it.
Interchangeable.
Resemblance is stunning.
Until you start talking, I have no idea which one is which.
Until you start shouting, you mean?
Yeah, shouting.
Well, now that he's no longer a blob on the screen.
That's true. Now we see
an actual camera.
Yep. I talked to him yesterday, and or I guess it was 2 days ago. When I was doing a show with him, and he said, "Oh, you got to wait a minute. I got something in the microwave." And I said, "Bob, was it cheese?" And he said, "Oh yeah, it's cheese."
God!
Of course it
He's
was.
still doing that.
I used to love the raging that Mike would do because the whole building smelled like burned cheese because of Bob Sansevier.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. That and the microwave popcorn, which I think Bob liked too. I mean, if you want to know what a migraine headache feels like, just take in that stuff because that is a trigger. Those two things triggers like nothing else.
Oh no, fish in a microwave is probably my.
God!
That's disgusting. We've all worked in an office where someone's like, "I brought in my fish from last night," and you're like, "No, don't
eat it cold. You can eat it cold. Do that."
Fish is better cold than microwaved.
Yeah,
Microwave fish is just gross.
It's gross.
Especially gefilte fish. Now that
that's
much better cold.
Yeah.
All right, to get back in the Christmas spirit, and Tevin, you got to help me again because I forgot the name of the movie again. The Outliers. What is it?
Holdovers.
The Holdovers. Have you seen that movie?
Paul Giamatti.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
It's phenomenal.
It's
a
so
great,
good.
He's terrific. The kid in it's terrific too. Well, everybody in it is wonderful. It's a wonderful story.
Paul Giamatti is just one of my favorites. Ever since Sideways, I just feel like anything he's in, I'm so on board with. Such a great character actor, but I love that he's a character actor who can also be a leading man. And that is rare in Hollywood. You're either a leading man or you're a character actor. He gets to be both.
And what's great about it, he's by no means a handsome man. That's why I love it so much.
Well, he usually plays the troubled, lovesick man who's failed at everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, once in a while. You could find
I guess I'm thinking Sideways.
Sideways, yeah. But it's charming in Sideways, You're like, oh, he's cute. I mean, and that's the thing. I Hollywood always just goes, we have to have that like handsome leading man. But I'm like, if you write the story correctly, you can fall in love with anybody. And I think that that's what real life actually is. And it's nice to have that fantasy. I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, I love a story that's more rooted in real life because women will marry a man who looks like whatever. They don't care oftentimes if he's bald or if he's short, or if he's tall, because if he's funny or if he's really kind, we're totally in.
Or has money.
Or have money. That is true. That is true.
What? I don't even know what money is.
Yeah, I was like, Hugh Hefner right there. Like, you just think about that. He's 80 dating a 22-year-old.
Yeah, but he's also fornicating with dogs. So You kind of put it in context.
The Hugh Hefner story, honestly, is awful. Now that we've like seen the documentaries on it, it's a real gruesome
what
tale.
story?
Hugh Hefner's story and what went on in the Playboy Mansion, which also ties into Bill Cosby's story.
Yeah.
What was going on behind the Playboy Mansion walls was horrific.
I just can't believe anyone was surprised that that kind of stuff was going on at the Playboy Mansion. It's like
it became such a mythic place. And I'll be honest, because I lived in Los Angeles when the Playboy Mansion parties were revived and everyone was trying to get to the parties. And there were just like mythic stories and tales of like, yes, you knew there were going to be drugs there. And yes, you knew there were going to be tons of women and like guys that were hitting on the women there. But it was more of like this fantasy of what happened at Playboy Mansion instead of like really like peeling back the onion layers and realizing this is a real disaster. And this is a place where sexual abuse and violence is happening and drug abuse and a whole bunch of things all tied together. It just took, the death of Hugh Hefner for people to really start speaking out because he was powerful enough.
Oh, he was. There's no question about that. It just, looking back at that, I guess as an early teen, I do understand Playboy magazine because you've not been exposed to that kind of thing. And you're growing up little by little. But I've never understood like 45-year-old guys that look at those. Oh, I've never seen bare breasts before. Oh, boy.
And what's people doing on her? Yeah, that kind of thing.
But I'm going to say the Pamela Anderson era sort of ushered in a second like wave of glamour. And, all the Baywatch girls hung out there. And you have like Carmen Electra and Jenny McCarthy was part of that era. And people wanted to look like that. That was an era where like breast augmentation was like the hot cosmetic surgery trend. Even like you just have to like think about how all that played in, and who wouldn't want to be a 45-year-old guy dating like a 22-year-old Baywatch star? I mean, I get that.
Yep. Yeah.
Or say I slept with a Baywatch star, even if it's just a one-night stand. There's bragging rights. I don't think that they're like something to be, like bragging about all the time, but in that era, absolutely bragging rights.
Yeah, I guess it's a different world now. Do those magazines even exist any longer? Like Playboy and Penthouse and all those?
I can't imagine they have a whole lot of circulation.
We have a website. Are they in print? That's what I would question.
Yeah, probably not print.
Is Playboy still in print?
No. I know when I was a teenager, I mean, we knew nothing about magazines like Swank, Jugs, Stacked.
You knew nothing about those?
No, we know nothing about these.
Oh,
Hustler was also
Hustler, of course, yeah.
Gelfand read them for the articles. They had great
writing.
Great writing.
That's how I learned to write. Yeah.
Well, Kristen, they would always do like a premiere, like cover story, with a well-known celebrity, usually male. And they, it was a prestigious job to get as a journalist to do that big premiere interview in Playboy. But that's how they would sell it as like, well, this is a story, this is a magazine with journalism and, serious people write for our magazine. And then all of a sudden you'd flip the page and like, there's the centerfold.
And no question. Did you ever see the Jay Leno bit where he has a doctor come in and he brings out Playboy magazine? He goes, so do you think this is real? And he goes, yeah, that's a very natural woman. She looks natural from top to bottom. She's naked, so you can see, yeah, it's very natural looking. Then he bring out a copy of Penthouse and the doctor goes, well, there's been some augmentation here. You can see by this area here and here that there's been some augmentation, but not a lot. So yeah, it's fine. And then they bring out Hustler. And the doctor goes, I have no idea what the hell that is.
Yeah, it kind of went from titillating to gross. Yeah,
it kind of did. Yes. Jesus.
You get into Frankenstein territory, I think.
I'll tell you one thing, though, that I liked about Penthouse. They always published my letters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
All I had to do was start them out with, I never thought I'd be writing to Penthouse, but.
Of course.
Yeah, that's how all the letters started.
No question. All right. We only got a few more minutes left. So again, watch the movie. What's it called again?
The Holdovers.
The Holdovers. You got to watch it because don't you both agree you've seen it, that it's a great movie?
Oh yeah. It's one of the best probably of this year, honestly.
No question. Tevin,
it's
you
been
feel
Slim Pickens this year. So that's the good news. You have a good movie to watch over the holiday season.
Kristen,
Kevin?
I have a question. Oh, I guess I haven't seen The Holdovers, but I'll definitely.
Oh, I
check
thought you
it
saw
out.
it.
No, not yet. Chris, I have a quick question for you. Are you familiar with the director Wes Anderson?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is
I'm a big fan.
Okay, so is he a nice guy? So have you seen his Wonderful Life of Henry Sugar?
Yes.
Short film. Like I thought it was fantastic, but is he the type? Would you consider him like a theater thespian type?
Yes, like quirky theater kid. Yes.
Yeah, that's because I watched it and I was like, I can picture this guy in my head, and I bet he's just like a thespian because it was very artistic what he created with that story.
Have you seen some of his other movies?
I have not, but I'm.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Yeah.
So if they're anything like this wonderful Henry Sugar story, definitely.
They are all like that. And honestly, you could literally, if over the holiday break, if you don't want to go outside and it's really cold, you can spend a whole week just watching Wes Anderson films. Asteroid City, which came out this year,
Yep.
which is fantastic. Hotel Budapest or Grand Hotel Budapest. I love that one. I'm just trying to think. What am I missing?
Oh, you're missing.
Oh, Royal Tenenbaums.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, one of the best ever.
Yes, The Life Aquatic. There's so
Moonrise
many good
Kingdom
ones.
was good.
Moonrise Kingdom. And you know what? Bruce Willis is wonderful in that. One of those like really great performances out of him in that movie.
Perfect. I'm gonna have to check those out then. Because I was like, this Henry Sugar, I was like, this is unlike anything I've ever seen, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's when your theater kid, the weird, quirky theater kid in your school becomes a famous director, you get Wes Anderson.
Perfect.
No, I think it's a great idea. Wes Anderson's been around, about 30, 35 years? Been a long time.
I think so. I think Bottle Rocket was his first movie, and I want to say that was in the maybe late 90s.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
30 years.
30 years, yeah.
Mid to late 90s, yeah.
He's an incredible director.
Always liked him.
Yeah, that was a doll book that they had a short story about that.
Yeah, and
I turned it into and that was one of those books like I read as a kid, and it stuck with me for so long.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another brilliant report is all I have to say. Right?
Always. But I'll be back for one more this week.
No, I thought you were going to send the AI version of you back tomorrow.
So I can do this.
Yes, exactly.
If you go on the Channel One website, I think it's channel1.ai. I think that's the website. You can hear me speaking a bunch of languages. That's the interesting part. Yeah. So they're able to use my image and then translate my words and my tone into different languages.
Yeah, channel1.ai is indeed a real thing. It's the numeral one, not the word one.
Yeah. So did you think they did a good job with you?
I mean, I think so. I mean, obviously it like sort of looks like me, not 100% and things like that. But I think that it captures some of my intonations and things like that. And just so people understand, when we recorded, it was like a bunch of nonsense, honestly, like a bunch of nonsense words, because it just is able to capture all the vowels and the sounds and the consonants and then use that AI to translate it to other English words or other languages. So it's fascinating to watch and fascinating to see. And I'm glad I was able to participate in the project because I really want to make sure that I'm with the curve or ahead of the curve a little bit instead of behind the curve, because I think that remember, we weren't even talking about this in February. And then all of a sudden the strikes came along and we started talking about it in May. And I feel like the train has left the station big time. So
yeah, seems like it.
Yeah. So I enjoyed working with them, and we'll see what happens with their project and see where it goes from here.
Do you think if they ever do an AI of me, I'd just spend my whole time as AI yelling at people?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they could totally do that. It would be fun.
Oh no, I mean maybe. I don't know.
Get your head out of your ass. Let's go.
I like it because I could finally become a polyglot,
Oh yeah.
And then maybe I could get a college degree.
Maybe.
Eventually.
Yeah.
All right, Kristen, we will talk to you tomorrow. Looking forward to it.
All right. See you all on Friday.
Thanks very much. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We'll wrap things up right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombarnardshow.com.
Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC has a mutiny on his hands. His sales crew said they've had it brooming snow off the new Buicks and GMCs, then warm them up, move them to plow, and repark them again. He even overheard them cooking up an alternative plan, a sale.
This is crazy. Why don't we just mark them down and sell them?
This is getting real old to be out on that lot in this sub-zero weather.
That's right. Everyone we sell is one less to broom. I heard we're supposed to get 6 more inches tomorrow.
I'm 5'6". How am I supposed to get the snow off the roof of a pickup?
I'm Jim Paul, and well, car dealers do have all kinds of crazy sales. This idea probably makes more sense than most. There's plenty of inventory, so okay, the crew has decided.
So then it's official. The We Don't Want to Broom snow sale is in full force at Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings. Snowy inventory priced real right at valleycardealers.com.
You know the song Kokomo? It's supposed to be off the Florida Keys, right? Hate to break your Beach Boys bubble, but that's a fictitious place they made up for the song. Fortunately for the rest of us, the Florida Keys island chain are as real as the taxes you have to pay in Minnesota if you're a resident. Now that's a reason to move south. In addition to Florida and all of Monroe County being beautiful, the Keys from Key Largo to Key West are even more beautiful. This is Tom Barnard, part-time Florida resident myself. And if you want a second house or a new retirement home or want to become a Floridian, may I suggest you contact Matt Carlson from One Key West Realty. Matt grew up in Litchfield. He's a super real estate agent when it comes to finding your tropical island space in the Keys. He lives there and here, and Matt knows what's best in Key West to buy. For your second home in Florida, Matt teamed up with fellow Minnesotan from Sartell and Alexandria, Kristen Eklund, who's one of the top mortgage brokers in the country from Coast to Coast Mortgage. She'll get you the financing you need to buy a home in Florida or in Minnesota. Matt's part of the Lake Sotheby's International Realty Group here in Minnesota, and Kristen, his mortgage colleague, lives and works in the Keys, so they both know the Florida Keys' new and existing homes for sale and are Minnesotan through and through. Contact them by heading to onekeywest.com. That's onekeywest.com. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did, and tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Tom here, and I want to discuss a partnership that has been wonderful in my life. Zero Res Carpet Care, very good friends of mine. Nothing is better to someone with a family than having a completely clean home. Your carpet is the biggest filter in your house. If you want to talk about pet dander or foot traffic, dirt from the outside, they all eventually reside in your carpet. So, Zero Res Carpet Care. Listen, around the holidays, you need to contact ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZEROREZ. That's 952-ZERO-RES. They clean your home with their electrolyzed pH-elevated water that doesn't use chemicals or soaps that smell like a janitor's closet like other cleaning services. How about a Tom Barnard deal? Well, here it is. Get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at $129, and don't forget your air ducts. Mention me, and they'll discount your air vents by $75 too. This is for the entire month, so call them right now, 952-0-RES, backward or forwarded, spells the same, or book online, ZeroResMinnesota.com. If it's available, ask for them to come to your place in the Tom Barnard named service truck. What an honor that was, by the way. Just mention me by name and get the special deal to get your home clean and your heart happy. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Andy, do you get the Tom's News Stories complete sheet listings on your computer?
Yep, I got it right here.
I want you to do something, and I'm not trying to be harsh here, but she's just trying way too hard. There's a story on there about Elon Musk's mother being pissed off because somebody won't give him $900 million or something. You see that story?
Yeah.
Could you put her picture up on the screen? She's trying way too hard. This is Elon Musk's mother.
Yes, I believe
Holy cow.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at
gosh.
Okay.
No.
Did you guys ever see Emperor's New Groove?
That's exactly
Oh,
what she
wow.
looks like.
Holy crap.
She looks like Isra or whatever. Yeah, I'm not mad at
Yzma?
it. Yeah, thank you.
I do see the resemblance, though.
Yeah.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Can you put it up on the screen, Andy?
Yes, in a moment. It's
In a moment, okay.
a different computer, so I have to
okay.
on this one and then get it on that one. And
But probably should have a warning though.
Yeah.
I think
Like
she's
you'll
cute.
never be able to
I-
unsee this.
You think she's cute?
Yeah, I like it. I don't know. It's fun.
If that were my mother, I'd go, Mom, you're trying way too hard. Would you dial it back? Come on.
All right, everybody watching the video, get ready for the jump scare. If it works, I think it's going to work.
Ugly.
She's not cute.
Not working.
Yeah, but I
have
can
to-
tell you this
It worked, Andy. That's
personal
not bad.
experience. You know,
It did? I didn't see it. Oh, there it is.
1:30 in the morning at my
Yeah.
favorite bar, and you know, you could do worse.
Well, because my thing is, like, where are the rest of your eyelashes?
Oh, so
Those are just wings off to the side.
Yeah.
But like, so I don't know. I feel like it needs to be centered, and then you can pull it off or something.
Well,
but
the other
yeah.
question is, how old is she?
Also, if she's at a fun event, we don't know that. I feel like this picture was taken. It's an AP photo, so it was at some fun event. She's eccentric. I think she's a fun lady. I like her.
Well,
I'd let her get drunk in front of me.
That's your criteria.
Yeah, I'm fine. I got a low bar, so
My bigger thing is she's complaining about somebody not giving Elon Musk money.
Yeah.
You don't need anybody to give him money.
I thought it worked the other way around.
Right.
When you're the richest person in the world,
You give the politicians money.
go to her Twitter page. She looks beautiful on that. Very
Twitter page.
Yeah, go to her.
Yeah, she looks like a normal human being most of the time.
Yeah, I think this was just like a weird, wacky event that
I
AP
think so,
photo took
yeah.
because they
Okay,
do
so-
put on those lashes every day.
I have a question for you. Did they do that to her on purpose? They
Yeah.
picked the worst picture they could find of her?
Probably to make
Yeah.
her look crazy.
And to be like, look, she asking for people for money, and look how like this is her look is very expensive in the eccentric one. Like you pay a lot of money to look that silly.
Yeah.
All right, here, let's see. I got to add this picture, but I got a picture of her with Elon so the viewers can compare and contrast.
the caption here would be, "Would
See?
you buy a
Yeah.
used Tesla from this woman?"
Yeah,
She looks like a normal
Trustworthy.
woman in her 70s to me.
hot as
Yeah.
hell for
She
70.
does look good in that picture.
Yeah, thank you.
For an older lady.
Yeah.
Well, there
She
you
does.
go.
So they did it. They did that on. They picked that picture on purpose, didn't they?
Right.
Yeah, but
Try to
she
make it look good.
obviously was. I mean, she was going along with it, dressed up like that.
I think she was at some event. I'd like to know
Yeah.
the event she was at. Like it could be like, the theme was galactic, and so she
Mhm.
leaned into it because it feels like silly in a fun way.
Yeah, I think this was a stock photo. It
Yeah.
wasn't like what she looked like when she made this claim because the claim was
Right.
made on Twitter.
Yeah,
So they
it's
just-
not a candid photo.
No.
You're
Right.
But no, Brittany, you're right. She's most likely at an event. It wasn't like she's like, I got to go to Starbucks quick. Let me put my bat wings on.
Yeah, put my weird ass villain eyelashes on.
Yeah.
May Musk, the mother of billionaire ex-Twitter owner, Elon. Can we get over the fact? I know that X used to be Twitter.
Thank
I
you.
know by now.
They're going to be doing
Say
that
it
for the
again.
next 5 years.
Say it louder for
Say
the
it.
people in the back.
X,
Thank you.
formerly known as Twitter. We're going to be
We
reading
all-
Or
that.
just call it Twitter and be done with it.
Well,
Like,
I just call it Twitter. I don't.
me too.
I have noticed in various publications that I read online that they are now phasing out the formerly Twitter.
Yeah, some of them
Yeah.
are just
Yeah.
calling it X and leaving it up to you to know what that is.
Mhm.
Yep.
I mean, it is a terrible generic name that doesn't it's just a bad name. I'll say that much.
True.
In any case, May Musk, the mother of billionaire ex-Twitter owner Elon Musk, complained to President Joe Biden on Wednesday after the Federal Communications Commission opted not to give Musk's Starlink nearly $900 million in government subsidies. This guy's worth $200 billion and he needs a subsidy.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I don't feel bad for you, sir.
The government's spending enough money. We don't need to spend another $1 billion.
I would be more upset if they gave him that.
Yeah.
I agree.
But you start giving him money like that, and someday he'll probably want to start paying his taxes, don't you think? If he gets enough,
It's like if you give a mouse a cookie kind of thing.
Doesn't he pay his taxes?
nobody who's that rich pays their taxes.
Well, that's true. You're right. They don't pay taxes. Although the guy who owns Prime Video and Amazon, he pays his taxes.
Bezos?
Yeah,
he
he
does.
does.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
He does. He pays his taxes. What, like 140 million or something? It was a big amount. I know. that.
Musk has this charity scam where he gets a big deduction claiming he's giving all this money to charity.
Oh, okay.
And it's a thing that some incredibly rich people do. They're able to sort of set money aside for charity and take the deduction, but they never actually give the money to charities.
Or they hold galactic events that their moms can wear eyelashes at.
Pretty much,
Lavish lashes.
Well, and a lot of what's reported is like, oh, this billionaire doesn't pay any taxes. It's an income tax thing. So if your income is nothing, then you don't pay income tax. But you're still
if you're that rich, you're not going to have income.
Yeah, it's like what's my salary if I'm worth $100 billion? Who the hell cares?
Like,
is the answer.
It looks like Elon Musk is, for some of his Tesla stock sales, whatever, he paid about $11 billion in taxes in 2020.
Yeah, capital gains taxes, the killer at that level.
That'll hurt.
But yeah, that's the thing is what the news will report is they'll say, oh, he didn't pay any income tax. And to the average person, income tax is tax.
Right.
So it's like, oh, if he didn't pay any income tax, that means he doesn't pay any tax. But no, they're operating at a level that none of us can comprehend. And we just, I just don't even try.
Very true. We're going to have to wrap it up there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a break. Be right back. The family is up next. Guys, if you want to reignite your intimacy once and for all, listen, just give Twin Cities Premier Health a call for a discreet and confidential in-office evaluation by their highly trained staff of medical professionals. Acoustic wave therapy sessions are 25 to 30-minute treatments with no pain, no downtime afterward. And right now, Twin Cities Premier Health is offering a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. Receive this $800 value when you use code word TOM at TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. You may know that age-related erectile dysfunction is most commonly caused by a buildup of plaque in the arteries that supply blood to the erectile tissue. Acoustic wave therapy can rescue your relationship and has been clinically proven to break up plaque. Definitely take advantage of this limited time special offer. Receive a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is a savings of $800 when you use code word TOM at TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Be sure to use promo code TOM so we get credit for sending you. I wouldn't recommend a service like this unless I knew they could help you. TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Before you head back to one of the big box stores for your hunting and shooting needs this season, do yourself a favor and visit My Choice, K&L Surplus and Ammo in Lino Lakes. Not only does K&L have one of the widest selections of firearms and ammo in the Twin Cities, they also do business the right way. They want to make sure that you have the right firearm and the right ammo for your needs. Jim, the owner, has over 25 years of experience in the business and will help you find what you need at a fair price. Speaking of prices, a lot of stores are using inflation and supply shortages as an excuse to raise prices on ammunition. Not K&L. Jim's doing everything to hold the line on pricing so you can spend more time on the range. Find out for yourself why K&L Surplus and Ammo has been the choice of gun owners for over 25 years. Go in and chat with Jim in person at the store on Lake Drive in Lino Lakes or online at klgunstore.com. klgunstore.com.
Tom Barnard is back. Every weekday, you'll hear Tommy B, Brittany Arneson. Yes, that Brittany Arneson. along with Tom's pals Kent Herbeck on Fridays, Bob Sansevier, Mike Stretch Gelfand, Tim Lammers, and from Channel 5 Eyewitness News, Chris Eggert and Kristen Burtt on entertainment and pop culture. It's Tom and the crew with opinions on news, opinions on life, opinions on entertainment, and of course, opinions on other people's stupid opinions. The Tom Barnard Show is a podcast, so you can listen when you want to listen. In the car, on the way to or from work, at home, on the job site, or wherever you need your Tommy B Show fix. Hear the show on the Tom Barnard Show app in your app store, as a podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts, or see it on YouTube on the Tom Barnard Show channel.
I'm just waiting for Kevin to find. He dropped something from his head. I don't know what he dropped there,
He
but
dropped one of his
one of the earpieces fell off.
That was a panic. Like I'm not going to be able to say my name.
It's the ear.
I know, those are horrible. I hate them.
Somebody, I know, named Tom. Hey, maybe that's a good Christmas present for you. A new set of headphones that doesn't shed weird plastic bits all over your head.
Good luck.
Been doing it forever. No question about it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the family with
Tevin Pittman,
Mike Gelfand,
Andy Brandt Barnard, I suppose.
I don't know. I seem to be going last now. Catherine Brandt.
Oh,
it's okay. It's okay. We just changed the direction. It's all right.
I thought I was last.
I am nothing if not flexible.
Catherine sat down and saw the picture of Elon Musk's mother and said, that's not at all what she looks like. They must have picked that picture to try to make her look bad.
No, she does photo shoots all the time.
Yeah. She looks crazy in that picture.
Well,
nuts.
She does not run around like that.
But it's not like they found her and snapped this picture. She's posing.
No, you're right.
Yeah, because
You're
she's a model.
right.
She does all kinds of photo shoots. Yeah.
There you go, Hey, it's a model, Gelfand. I don't know if is Elon's dad still around, or can Gelfand ask her out?
I wonder, actually.
I don't know.
I get the feeling maybe he never got along with his dad. I don't know.
No, I guess he was
that's
I guess he was a terrible person.
Oh, was he?
Father?
Yeah, I guess he was very violent and
Left
horrible.
him a lot of money, though.
Typical Australian. Is that what you're saying?
Let's see. They were Elon Musk's mom got divorced in '79, so she's really single.
Gelfand?
Yeah.
Gelfand?
Oh yeah.
Gelfand.
Oh yeah. There, I think I got it with that one, didn't I? Took me a few tries.
You did indeed, Catherine. Anything breaking in the news we should know about since you've been on the show?
Well, just scrolling through the world here. What did LeBron James do?
I don't know. That didn't come up.
Oh.
Well, he
LeBron
recently
James did
they
something.
won the in-state or in-season tournament.
Oh,
thing
right.
for
Yep.
basketball, but I don't think there was.
Oh, well, there's a lot of crap going on.
Painful video
you know
goes
who-
viral of LeBron James ignoring sitting during national anthem.
Oh, that's got
The big story in the NBA now is Draymond Green, the guy who choked Rudy Gobert.
Yep.
So they suspended him for 5 days, and I think he played like 2 or 3 games in which nothing horrible happened, and then he attacked another player.
Oh,
Yeah, because now he's gone indefinitely.
That's
right?
what they're saying, indefinitely, which means usually in the NBA 3 games.
okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Does anybody know who the UFC star Colby Covington is?
Nope.
Nope.
No?
What do you
Okay.
do?
Well, there's I guess he went on some sort of press thing being very mad at LeBron.
About what?
The quote is, if you hate America so much and you don't like this country that gave you $1 billion, leave it or come deal with me. You go to China, go to these sweatshops that you employ all these laborers and use these women and pay them pennies on the dollar to
Which
make
is
your
true.
millions. F you, LeBron James.
I mean,
You're a
he's wrong.
coward. You're a spineless coward, and you're a biatch.
Was this guy a country western singer?
No, he's a black UFC fighter.
UFC.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
What is UFC?
What is the difference?
United Federation.
United
Fighting
Ultimate Fighting
Championship.
Championship.
There you go.
Ah, okay.
You
Anyway, I
fight-
guess that's going around. That's like a little viral thing right now.
So he stayed in his chair instead of standing up for the national anthem.
I don't know what
Yeah,
he's
so
doing.
I guess so his son plays for USC, and so he got to the
Right.
game as the national anthem was playing, and so he walked in and then sat down rather than just
Wow.
walking in and staying stand.
And that's what all this is about?
I
I mean,
guess.
like, I don't like LeBron James as a human being even a little bit, but I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt without having seen the video here. Because like people do like to make a big deal over nothing.
Yeah, I think that's mostly what it is.
Tevin, haven't you brought up the fact that he's been making people angry about the cost of his tennis shoes and stuff before? Didn't you say something like that? Was it LeBron?
No, it was Michael Jordan back in the day.
Michael Jordan.
Everybody-
Okay.
But LeBron, I don't know. He kind of was a like anytime there was controversy, he would kind of shy away from it. And then at a certain point, once he was established enough, he then started to speak out a little bit more. But I don't know. He doesn't seem like it's authentic, really, anything he does. So he's not the type of person that would protest, especially at his son's basketball game, and take all the shine away from his son.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was gonna not play NBA games when he could see his son play.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't blame him for that.
He told the team, "Hey, there might be a scheduling conflict.
Yeah.
I need to go watch my son play basketball rather than play for the Lakers."
I think he's what he really wants to do is he wants to keep playing until his son can play in the NBA. And so that's really his goal now. He's what, 38? Is that right?
LeBron, yeah, he's got to be somewhere around there. He might almost be 40.
LeBron James is 38.
Does his son?
He's been in the NBA for like 19 years now.
Yeah. Does his son have the stuff? Is he going to make
Probably
it?
not.
No, I don't think so.
I've only seen like a little clip of his son, but for one thing, he's about a foot shorter than LeBron.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's very, very good.
Yeah.
But to be the 1% of the 1% that makes it, I think he'll get a chance because he's LeBron James's son. And if, a team like the Timberwolves was like, oh, we'll draft him if that means LeBron's also going to come here and play, we'll take a flyer on him. But I don't
Well, that would draw fans.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a father-son team in a professional sports setting?
Not that have played together, no. I don't believe so.
Well, I suppose the average career of a pro athlete is what, 15 minutes? So
yeah, you get a lot of brothers that'll play and stuff, but not
Right.
to son.
How about George Blanda? He quit when he was like 45 years old. Did his son ever?
I think he was actually a little older.
I like
Was
a
he even older than
45
40?
is considered like ancient in football.
Well, in football it is, but he was
Football as
almost
a kicker,
50.
yeah.
48.
Yeah.
48.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did he
He
have
was
a
with
son
the Raiders
playing?
for 8 years at the end.
He was one of those, kickers who like approached the ball straight on. So it's like it's been like 30 years since anyone did that.
Yep.
Why is that?
It's just apparently it's just not as efficient, except for what was the guy's name? Dempsey. I can't remember his first name, but Dempsey. He's the guy. He had the record for the longest field goal for some time, and a lot of kickers thought it should have an asterisk because actually half of his foot had been. Well, he didn't have half of his foot. So he had this huge metal plate. So he was like hitting the ball with a sledgehammer.
Oh, with a golf club almost.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that is kind of. But I guess like shoes kind of serve the same purpose, don't they?
Yeah, not like a metal mallet though.
Can you what if you just like wear a steel-toed boot when you kick the ball?
There's probably
There you go.
there's probably some rule against it
No
now. There's a
steel-toed
Dempsey rule now, I think.
Yeah, I would think that's probably true. So what's new in the news? Anything pop up since we took that long break from the morning show?
Not a whole lot. There was a 10-year-old kid that was in Tom's news stories that he got arrested and he's on probation now because a 10-year-old peed out in public, and so the cops were like, "We're gonna make an example of him." Yeah, other than that,
They put him on probation.
Yeah,
Would you love to be his probation officer?
Yeah, and they're like the article is trying to play the race card and say it's because he's black, but I was just more like, hey, why are we arresting a 10-year-old for peeing in public? Maybe this is just a little slap on the wrist, but yeah, he got sentenced in youth court to 3 months probation because he peed in.
Now, where was this?
It was in Mississippi.
Well, I've heard stories of people getting put on the sex offender registry for peeing in public. So I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little different if you're an adult that's just out here, and it sounds like he was in a parking lot and he peed next to a car. Like he opened up the car door and like peed on the ground because he had to pee. And so
Well, what's he supposed to do? He's 10 years old.
Okay, I have a question that I don't think any of you are going to be able to explain what this sentence means. So the child's mother, I believe, more. It's either the mother or the lawyer. I don't know. But they said, we are not going to appeal. He will not have a criminal record. This is probation. And he is a fan of Kobe Bryant, so he doesn't mind writing the 2-page report.
What?
What the hell does that even mean?
Oh, they probably made him do some sort of report on somebody, but yeah, I don't know.
I guess they should have said, and he's written a report on Kobe Bryant, not like all Kobe Bryant fans love writing reports.
Yeah. Just weird that they did all this work to teach this kid a lesson about peeing and behind the door.
Don't do it.
I have a question. Why is the world getting so weirder by the day? That would have never happened in the old days.
Well, in Mississippi, it might.
Well, that's true. In Mississippi, that's a possibility. You're right about that. But
yeah, I mean, in Mississippi, if he'd done that, 50 years ago, they would have just turned a hose on the kid.
Could be.
Oh, yeah, you got to wash it off, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know the kid. And you said he actually blocked the view of him peeing by standing by an open door.
Yeah, he said he opened up the back door, and so he was trying to be, I guess, respectful.
Discreet.
Try not to pee in public, but if you're 10 years old and you got to go.
Yeah, we saw a kid just pee right in a pool and drop trow and
gross.
Oh,
yeah, arrest that kid.
Right.
Yes.
And just think of all the kids who do that, and we'd never know about it.
It's the one of my favorite South Park lines of all time. They're testing the pool water at a public pool, and they do a pH test, and the pH test comes back no H, all P.
God. What was the Adam Sandler movie, Grown Ups, where the dads are all sitting in the pool and the kids are like, you can't pee in the pool because it turns the water blue. And he's like, oh, that's an old wives' tale. And then the camera pans out and it's like the 5 dads sitting in a circle, all surrounded by dark blue dye.
Oh, gross.
Is there anyone who's never peed in a pool though when they were swimming?
Probably not.
I don't
Anybody
think
who was going to admit it.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I haven't, but then I've never been in a pool, so I guess it doesn't count.
Well, that's the thing. If you swim as like a little kid, yeah, you're going to do it. But as an adult, I feel like that's a pretty low class thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I would say so.
But that's why God gave us chlorine.
Yes,
true.
Thank God for chlorine.
Yeah, but the new thing is saltwater pools. No chlorine, just salt.
Oh, that's right. They do salt water now, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So that disinfects the pool?
Well, yeah, salt. I mean, salt basically kills anything it touches. So if it's salty enough,
I read up on saline pools, and apparently somehow it does still turn into a form of chlorine.
Well, yeah. What you like, if you look at a pool, especially a newly chlorinated pool, you're going to see bubbles, like tiny little bubbles, coming up to the surface. And that is, if I'm going from memory, so I could be completely wrong, but it's atoms of chlorine that have been hit by sun, which turns them into chloramine, which releases a gas. And that's actually what disinfects. It's the chloramine, not the chlorine itself. And apparently salt can somehow do the same thing. It gets hit by the sunlight. It reacts with the water. It becomes chloramine, and there you go.
See, I told you.
Yeah, I don't know about the chlorine part, but I definitely have been responsible for causing some gas in a pool. So in that sense,
doesn't disinfect though.
Yeah, no, I guess it doesn't.
No,
you're guessing that's the deal. I don't know if I want to read this story, but I'll just read the headline. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
The top fetish of 2023 was giantess porn. What the hell does that even mean?
What's a giantess?
It's a giant, but female.
I don't know. You lost me at giant.
Yeah, it's
giantess porn.
It means giant, but female. So you got your giants and you got your giantesses.
So there's video or pictures of very tall women peeing or doing porn.
I was going to say peeing. Where the hell did you get
Oh
that?
no, you started another trend.
I did.
I mean, yes,
Fetish of
there
2024.
probably are those too, but that's not the conversation we're having right now.
All I know is that when I get home, I'm going straight to xhamster.com.
Just to do some research.
I got to check this out.
Some keywords, some tags.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
How can that be the big trend if none of us have heard of it? I mean, we're kind of like in the mix, right?
I don't know. I'm not a big porn guy. It's like, okay, good.
Well, I didn't mean porn, but just,
Well, it's like, as someone who is arguably terminally online, I do see a lot of weirdos, and they're very, very open with what they like.
Yeah.
So I am familiar with this particular thing. I don't get it. And I think in this case, giantess means literal like fantasy giant. Like, we're not talking 8-foot tall woman. We're talking like 20-foot tall woman.
I see.
Oh my God.
I could be wrong. Maybe I'm conflating two things, but
all I know is that in my fantasies, I draw the line at 12 feet.
You're damn right.
Too much after that.
It's too much. I can't handle it.
Too much.
Well, I'll read the story. Pornhub hasn't released its year in review yet, but even kinkier site has just beat them to it. A website called Clips for Sale, the number 4, Clips for Sale, specializes in fetishist content. So the really kinky stuff. They just posted their top searches of 2023, and number 1 is something you probably didn't even know existed. Very large women had a very big year. The top kink was giantess porn. There's here's a PG example. So they're going to show me the women, but
do you want to click on anything from?
I would say tread lightly with whatever you're about to click.
Well, you think I shouldn't click on that?
Not unless you want your inbox completely filled with that.
I suppose that's true. Yeah. That doesn't just mean tall. It's more about using camera tricks and other effects to create the illusion that someone's a giant.
Yeah,
kind of like a grown-up version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Clips for Sale says giantess porn was the top search in the U.S., Japan, Mexico, and Australia, and they expect it to be big next year too. No pun intended. Or it wasn't a good pun anyway, so I'm glad it wasn't intended because it was a horrible pun.
Big, get it?
Big,
big, you know.
So what's driving this now? Why giant women? What's that all about?
I don't know. Every year they come out with one of these, and it's always like you would never know unless you were told that this is like the big thing.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder if it is the big thing.
That's what I'm saying. If we never heard of it.
Yeah. I always assume that it's like some company just spent a bunch of money producing this kind of thing, and now they need people to think that it's popular.
Yeah. Bingo, Andy.
That's my assumption.
And there's like, I'll never forget working at the House of Comedy. Big J. Okerson was in town he called me, and there was a furrying convention.
Furry is very big and has been for a long time.
Yeah. And so there's like things like that, whether it's like kinks or niches or fetishes, that there's these huge communities that are essentially underground that nobody hears about, but they're like, oh yeah, everybody's into, giantess porn. Like what? How do you even?
Yeah, it's very specific, isn't it?
Public? Yeah. Like you just woke up one day and you were like, you know what? I think I'm kind of into really, really big women. And it probably comes from like a power thing too. Cause you'll hear like businessmen where they're like, oh yeah, I paid this lady, $200 to tell me how, small my thing is because I want to feel degraded.
Yeah. So giantess would be just like another, it would be an extension of that. It's like, she's so big that even if I wanted to, I couldn't resist kind of thing.
I cannot actually, I can't connect with this thing about people wanting to be degraded. I mean, it happens to me every day.
I'm already insecure now.
Too much of a good thing is what you're saying.
I guess so. I'll start looking at porn when the missionary position makes a comeback.
There you go.
That's the new underground thing.
Yeah, it could be the thing. You never know.
Pornhub has been under a lot of fire for all the pedophilia stuff that's on there. So they're probably looking for a new revenue source, I would guess.
Yeah, they didn't do a whole lot of vetting of the age of people in their videos.
Yeah, well, and they always release like, what is your state's most searched words on Pornhub? And like half the states are always, like underage girl or barely legal.
Really?
Whatever. Oh yeah, it's some of the stuff that I guess I would assume the actors in there are old enough, but yeah. I think you still are under a lot of fire for some of the people they have on.
Well, yeah, you're still pretending that they're not old enough.
Right.
It's like, so the fantasy is still there, and that's not great.
No.
Okay, now we're not going to get into this, but we are going to get into what you were talking about, Tevin. Here are a few more kinks America was searching for in 2023. A few are pretty lame, like tickling in Tennessee, yoga pants in South Dakota, pantyhose in Missouri, and socks in Louisiana and Wisconsin.
Socks.
Latex was a top search in New Mexico. Still a classic. Why late? What's latex?
Skin tight latex bodysuit kind of thing.
Bodysuit, yeah, okay. Wrestling porn was #1 in North Dakota, Oklahoma, and Carolina.
Having been in North Dakota and Oklahoma, that does not surprise me.
And she puts him in the pile driver. Wait, that's not a pile driver at all.
Smoking porn was the top search in Connecticut. So what is smoking porn? Having sex and smoking at the same time?
That sounds gross.
Right. Smoking a cigarette and having sex, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Coughing the entire time?
Until you try it, you have no idea what a high that is.
So this is weird. Smoking porn was the top search in Connecticut, which has one of the lowest smoking rates in the nation. Connecticut just likes to watch you smoke, apparently.
Well, that makes sense now that we know that.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's forbidden.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it's just a fully clothed person just sitting on
Just
a bench smoking. Yeah,
yeah.
it has nothing to do with sex.
Okay, I don't know what this word is. This one's weird. Vor, is it vor or voray?
Oh, I think that's voyeurism.
No,
type
it's
of thing,
it's
right.
well, no, I think is it VORE?
Yes.
Yeah, that's vor. That's an anime thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that much about it because it's gross and I just don't understand the appeal. But basically, it's like the fantasy is that a woman will eat you.
Yes, it's about eating another person.
Swallow
Like
you whole and then
Yep.
no, like not like cannibalism, like they'll swallow you whole somehow and like have this gigantic distended stomach and then they'll digest you.
You know, the more I hear about humanity, the more I want that bunker in South Dakota.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. The vor thing has been around forever too. Like I remember seeing people talking about it on the internet in like the late 90s, and I was like, "What in the hell? How do you even get this idea of like someone swallowing you whole?"
Well, it's a marketing thing. You know, one man's nightmare is another man's fantasy.
I suppose so, but I've never had a nightmare about being swallowed whole either. The thought just never occurred to me of a woman like unhinging her jaw like a snake and swallowing me.
All right, here's a good comparison. You guys are going to like this. The next two, 6 and 7. Wyoming might take the cake for the weirdest fetish of all, CPR porn. Yes, chest compressions and mouth-to-mouth while naked.
CPR is very unpleasant.
I would think
it's
so.
extremely painful for one. For you.
Yeah.
Well, at least we get to exit the story with a laugh because the #1 search in Indiana for porn is fart porn.
Gross.
Wow.
And
That I can get
We're not
behind.
Okay. So they're having sex and farting?
It's like people, you know, you're not, if you're into it and it's consensual, do whatever you want. But some stuff, like really, like farting porn.
I know
Like,
why.
How do you just
I
like
just
muster
don't
one up on command? I don't know.
That's true. You have to prepare first, I think.
That would be the fantasy of many of the people I meet at my incel meetings. Yes.
Really? Okay. Well, so you got the inside.
They're like sitting on the couch, like, honey, you in the mood? No, I don't have to fart right now. Otherwise, I definitely would love to have sex.
See?
But I gave you chili for dinner.
Exactly.
Enough
Have some
alarms in
beans.
that chili, unfortunately.
No.
No question about it. So
We're
yeah,
a very
okay.
sick country. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Indeed. So what else is going on in the news, Andy? Anything good?
After that, no.
After that, no. There's nothing good going on whatsoever.
But we are getting to that point now where we're going to get the best fill in the blank of the year.
That is true. We are.
Yeah, we are. That's true.
What was the best new word of the year? That one was coronated a few weeks ago, I think.
They're always horrible.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know if it was the best word, but I think Riz.
Riz, I was just about to say. I knew it
yeah.
had 2 Z's in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Riz was the one I read about. I've
And
never
this
heard
is-
of that.
That's respect, right?
It's charisma.
Charisma, yeah.
Oh, charisma. That's what it is. Okay.
Riz.
Riz.
But yeah, I guess it comes from charisma.
I suppose it makes sense. So do you care about stuff like that anyway?
No, they just take whatever the kids are saying and throw it in the dictionary.
What's the thing? Once you're at a certain age, you just stop picking these things up, I think.
Yeah. If it's not in the New York Times crossword, it doesn't interest me.
It probably will be.
Well, I guarantee you it will be. Yeah.
I would imagine. No doubt about it. I just, man, I'm looking at there's not a whole lot of good. I could start reading stories off that are just absolutely hideous, but I don't really want to do that.
No, well, there was another kind of funny one in Tom's news stories about these 2 drunk guys that got into an 8-hour standoff with police because they were refusing to come down from a roof. And then they have the picture of the guys, and they're just two passed out drunk dudes on the roof of some construction site.
So they weren't refusing to come down. They couldn't come down because they were passed out.
Yeah, it looked like for at least for a little bit of the 8 hours,
That's
they were
great.
definitely taking a nap.
And you got the SWAT teams surrounding them.
Yeah, and it looks like they were throwing bags of concrete onto the road and swinging around a bottle of vodka. So yeah, they were drunk, having a good time on some scaffolding. It looks like, which led to an 8-hour standoff of police trying to get them off the roof.
I cannot tell you how drunk these two men are. They keep falling down on each other.
You sure that's what it is?
Yeah, exactly. They look like brothers. Are they identical twins?
It does not say, but yeah, I would not be surprised because they are both look exactly alike, and they're barefoot as well. So they're definitely, had a good time. We'll say.
Here's an interesting story from Carver, the city of Carver.
Mm-hmm.
A man recently had to relocate with his dog because his dog was found to be illegal because his dog was a coyote.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
It's a 9-month-old coyote. So it's still, you know, at that age, it's still, nice and friendly and fun, but
it's a story that won't end well.
No, it's always like, and pretty much every animal is like that. I mean, you can have a young alligator or hippopotamus or something, and it'll be like, oh, it just loves to play. Well, yeah, it's a kid,
Remember the story
until it
about
hits adulthood.
Remember the story about the chimpanzee?
Oh God, yeah. There's a lot of them.
Ate the woman's face.
Yep.
Ripped it off.
Yeah, people don't understand that once animals grow up, wild animals, that's when they become wild animals.
Yeah, they go back to being feral.
And there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you can raise them and love them and care for them their whole lives, but something in them just goes nuts once they hit adulthood.
Sounds like my children.
Well, there is that. Well, humans go nuts in their teens, and then they get less nuts.
That's the purpose of adolescence.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bell curve kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, there was that lady that she had collected exotic pets and had a boa constrictor, and she bragged about it sleeping in her bed next to her. And she was like, "Oh, it lays the long way." And somebody was like, "Hey, I work for a zoo or something."
Please don't.
They're like, "It's seeing if it's long enough to eat you yet. So once it grows up to be big and strong, it's trying."
Well, it's like snakes, I don't think are really capable of like affection.
No,
they're snakes. They have reptile brains because they're reptiles.
I remember we had an intern at the radio station, and I said to someone another intern, I said, there's something about this guy that kind of creeps me out. And she said, well, he does have 5 snakes that he's living with. And I said, yeah, okay. Yeah. And then one day he said to me, right out of the blue, he said, when you watch porn, they have all these girls they claim are like 15 or 16. They're not. Most of them are in their 20s. They just sort of starve to death so they can look like they're 15.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and I said to someone who was in charge, I said, you probably should let this guy go, because he's representing the radio station. And the only shocking thing was this person didn't wind up being the general manager.
So you didn't drink enough?
Yeah, apparently not.
That might have been the problem.
I'm sorry, your blood alcohol level is just too low. Get out of my house.
It's too low. Sorry, you can't do it. Mike, you just triggered something on my noggin. Think back on all of the people we worked with in that 37 years at the Q. Oh, my God.
There were some eccentricities.
Yeah, there's some great people and some very eccentric people is another good way to put it.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. But I'm trying to picture the guy with the heavy porn guy. I can't remember his name.
The heavy porn.
Oh, that's all he ever did is watch porn while he was on the air.
Was he heavy or?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think most porn guys are heavy.
Heavily porn.
Most porn guys are heavy.
On that note, I have to take off a little bit early today because
all right, no problem.
How dare you, sir?
All right, don't become a heavy porn guy. That's all I'm saying. Oh, he took his headphones off just in time.
I follow this weird site, which of course, when I want to find it, I can't find it. It talks about all this kind of stuff. Like this one guy he rescued an alligator and became great friends with this alligator.
Oh,
he used to play with it and snuggle with it. That one did not end in tragedy, but the snake, the cobra snake trainer guy, he for 50 years or something, He lived amongst the cobras.
Mhm.
He never had a problem. And then 50 years,
Yep.
one bites you and then you die.
He died.
Well, it's like that bear guy, Timothy, whatever.
Timothy.
You don't know who I'm talking about? Timothy
No.
the bear guy. Let's Google that.
Timothy the bear guy.
Yeah, Timothy Treadwell.
Oh, I remember
Oh,
that name. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he lived among bears for 13 years, and then one day they just ate him.
They've had enough.
If you forget to feed a bear, you are in big trouble.
Yeah.
Well, these aren't domestic bears. This was in the wild in Alaska.
Yeah.
So he would just like go in the summer. He would just go to this area where the bears lived and just live among them for the summer.
I see.
And then he would go home. And the 13th time he did that, one of them just decided to eat them.
But how do you make the decision? I want to live among bears. Why?
Well, Jane Goodall lived amongst some sort of ape
Chimpanzees,
or
I think.
Monkeys,
Yeah.
But she knew how to how to do it without being killed, because she actually was an expert. And this is a guy who knows nothing about bears, except that they're kind of cute, and so yeah, I see the. I mean, you see this all the time. People, and you read these stories all the time. Oh, I just thought I would pet the lion.
Mhm.
That never
Well,
ends.
every year up in Canada, there's always a tourist or two killed by bears because people think that they can go up and take its photo.
Oh yeah.
Pretty close because look at the cute bear, and yeah.
And see, that's why I have a cat. Now she doesn't really like me, but I'm pretty sure she won't eat me until I'm dead.
Well, that'd be good. At least you chow down after that, and she'll clean you all up. That'd be good.
I'm gonna leave my mark, with her. Yeah.
Well, the very first time Catherine and I went to Banff, Canada, was on our honeymoon, and I wanted to go play a round of golf at the Banff golf course, which is wonderful, but we couldn't because a man from Japan walked up to a bear and tried to take its picture up close, took his head right off.
Yep.
Oh,
a bear can kill you in seconds.
So
You
strong.
don't want to be anywhere near a bear.
I remember I was in Banff this many years ago, but at the time at least there was like a sort of a mini forest between the hotel on the hill and those sort of like the downtown Banff, which was
Yep.
So it's like, I don't know, it was kind of warm that day. It was like 50 degrees. So I'm making a shortcut through the forest area, and it starts to snow, because that's what happens in Banff. It can go from 50 degrees to snow in about a minute and a half. So I'm sort of like I'm being inundated by snow, and I'm standing under a tree trying to protect myself from being just a snowball, and I get the feeling someone's watching me.
Oh.
And I turn my head, and sure enough, there's a deer about maybe 15, 20 feet away from me. And the deer and I look at each other at the same time. Both of us sort of start, like, uh-oh. And then we realize neither of us is in any danger, and we just continue on under the trees.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's like that moment has stayed with me for 30 years.
No, I could see that why it would too. I mean, it's a different experience. There's no question about that. I don't know. It's why people wander. Well, look, in North Minneapolis, there's a lot of train tracks back in the day. I don't know if they're all still there, but there were a lot. And you would find things like snakes and coyotes and all that kind. Now, the snakes in Minnesota are not very big, but coyotes would go up and down. The animals use the train tracks to kind of get around. They're kind of like their highways to get from one place to another.
The coyotes, it should be said, were not carrying huge amounts of cocaine with them.
No, they were not. Different kind of coyote. That's exactly right. I don't understand people thinking they can just wander up to lions, tigers, bears, whatever it is, and just, hey, let me pet you. No, it's not going to work.
A lot of people, especially people who have never really left the city, don't realize how dangerous animals can be.
I suppose. I mean, that's got to be it, wouldn't you think?
I would think so. Because, I mean, if you look at a coyote isn't very big.
No.
It's the size of like probably a Labrador, maybe even smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So you're thinking it's like, what is it going to do? But I don't know. People have been so insulated from true danger that I think a lot of people actually can't comprehend what it's like to be in real danger anymore.
Probably.
Depending on where in the city you live.
Sorry.
What?
I think Andy and I know that. You never want to feel too safe.
Well, that's I mean, there is something to be said for just like knowing what bad thing could happen at any given time.
Yeah, well, there's a reason we have this instinct of fear.
Mm-hmm. Now, you don't have to obsess over it like two people in this studio may or may not do, but the opposite of not ever worrying about it and not being aware of it is equally dangerous.
Yep.
I would imagine that's true. I was just looking at.
So there.
I'm sorry, Tom.
We'll get the timing down on this thing sooner. I was just looking down while I was listening to you guys talk and looking down at my recent searches. How about this? There are 3 recent searches I did in the last few days. North American Banking Company, Bilski. No Whites Allowed, which is the mayor of Boston.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No Whites Allowed. And Jewish Mobsters.
Why were you looking up Jewish
I don't know.
mobsters?
We were talking about, oh, damn it. What the hell's the name of the Jewish mobster who lived in Miami again?
Was that
Meyer Lansky?
Lansky,
Yeah, we're talking about Lansky. Yeah, we're talking about Lansky. So I was doing some research on Jewish mobsters, and Gelpan's picture did come up. By the way,
I was going to say, I mean, I do have cousins who are Jewish mobsters.
You still do?
Well, not the real mobsters are gone now.
Yeah,
but they haven't been gone for that long. But yeah, they're gone now. But I mean, truly, I guess when I was younger, I looked at these guys and thought, oh well, I mean, like, so they're bookmakers, and okay, so they're the first lieutenants of a guy who's the first lieutenant of Meyer Lansky, and you don't really understand that these are people who probably killed people.
Oh, there's no question about that. Now, how old were you when you moved out of North Minneapolis?
Oh, just like 2 years old.
Oh, you were only 2 when you moved to St. Louis Park.
And my parents went from North Minneapolis to eventually Cretin Avenue.
Oh, in St. Paul, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Because it was okay for Jews to live outside North Minneapolis when you had the housing shortage, the post-World War II housing shortage.
Why do you think it is your parents went from Minneapolis? Because your father worked for the Star Tribune, correct?
Well, and no, actually, back in those days, he was working for the St. Paul paper.
Oh, I did not know that. So that's why you went to St. Paul.
Yeah.
But he ended his career at the Star Tribune, did he not?
Yeah, I mean, he went. So this was in the 50s, and then he went from the Pioneer Press to the Minneapolis Star. He was, a sports reporter.
Right.
And then he decided it occurred to him one day that the rest of us in the family were hungry because you weren't making much money in those days in the newspaper business.
Sure.
So then he went into public relations. A shanda for the family, as we would say.
Why?
Well, I mean, you go from journalism to public relations. It's never been something where you went from nothing to a highly esteemed occupation.
But he did a good job.
The money's there, so he had to do it. And then, but he always loved newspapers, and then that was his retirement job. Was being the ombudsman, the guy who basically took phone calls from people who were complaining and wrote a Sunday column. So he started doing that. He actually it was almost exactly the day that I left the paper when he joined the paper.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that. What, that was a coincidence, or did he wait until you left? So then he'd made the move.
I would have to say that his presence there as the ombudsman was just one of many 1,000 cuts that encouraged me to leave.
Really?
But it was a small thing. But it's an awkward situation.
Yeah, I suppose that probably is true. No question. But yeah, I mean, I used to read his stuff. There's no doubt about that. I thought he was very good at that job, actually.
He was very good at it because, he and his public relations background, as well as his love of newspapers, entered into it. But people would call and complain, and, he would sympathize with them. He would talk to them. He didn't really have that much to do except when he wrote his columns, but talking to people. So when my dad died, I heard from quite a few people who said, "Oh, I used to talk to your dad, just once a week at least. We always had great conversations." And these were people who had nothing in common with my dad at all. Their politics were different. Everything was different. But my dad enjoyed talking to them.
Was that over at the Little Wagon?
Well, the Little Wagon. Now that was a hardcore. That was like right out of Miss Lonely Hearts.
That's very, very true. You could find a guy boozing it up at the Little Wagon.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys, of course, if you went there after 10 o'clock, especially, a lot of those guys would have been in those days journalists. But then, the Star Tribune basically, they sort of adopted this place in St. Paul. That was the Twin something place. It was like a cozier and less expensive version of Hazelden.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah, Hazelden. I'm sorry,
Hazelden. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. So then there was that era when all the guys I knew from the paper were going into treatment.
Really?
Big guys like Klobuchar and Larry Batson, who had a column.
Oh, sure. Yep.
The list went on. Yeah. And then some of those guys turned really angry, and some of them turned like into the nicest people you've ever met.
Who were the angry ones? Anybody I know?
I don't think so. I can tell you the guys who turned into really nice guys, because Klobuchar, of course, was one of them.
Oh, Jim?
Yeah, he was a very angry drunk.
Oh, God, yes.
But he turned out to be the nicest guy in the world once he quit drinking.
When he was still drinking, he used to call me and light me up. Oh, my God, did he go after me?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Isn't that interesting how some people can take just a couple of sips of alcohol and just turn into
true.
Yeah, it is very strange.
Well, there's been a lot of studies about how different cultures react to alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember reading that there was a big article in the New Yorker many years ago, but it was fascinating. And basically people behave the way they are culturally expected to behave.
I suppose that's true.
So like Irish people, they basically weep and sing Danny Boy because they're supposed to, right?
Because they're supposed to.
It's not anything in their DNA, especially. It's just that's what they're supposed to do.
It's funny about that, Mike. You bring that up because I still get a lot of reaction from how I grew up. Like when I first meet some people, they kind of stand back a little bit because apparently, and I don't even know I'm doing this, but I look very threatening all the time. And I didn't even know it. I suppose I learned that in my neighborhood to look like that, to be, to ward people off.
Mm-hmm.
But some people still think that look on my face is like, I'm about to cut your head off.
Well, you look at people directly.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
A lot of people don't like that.
Well, and that is just, that's what animals do.
Yeah.
They won't look at each other except when they really pissed off.
Yeah, they kind of, they'll glance at each other. They take, they look, and then they look away.
Staring is not a good thing.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I don't stare at people.
Well, no, you just make direct eye contact, and some people that's very off-putting. Like
Minnesota, it is for sure.
Yeah, if you think about an autistic kid, they can't do that at all.
No, they can't do it at all.
Yeah.
But also, you get to read. I learned that as a self-protection thing because you look someone direct in the eye, you kind of know what they're all about.
Well, it's a display of dominance too, isn't it? Really?
I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't look at it that way. It's just I was keeping myself safe, right? So I guess it was dominance. I never thought of it that way though until today. I just thought I was protecting myself, and in the meantime, off-putting people in the normal world. I did not even know that.
It's just that it's like the difference between being a Minnesotan and then being around New Yorkers. New Yorkers will stand right next to you.
Yeah.
And, they're not really close to your face. They'll sit right next to you, even if there's space. And in Minnesota, if somebody sat next to you and there was empty space nearby, you'd be like, what's wrong with you? That's a threat.
Yeah. What's the angle?
I remember going to a lot of, going to movie theaters, and there'd be like 8 people there, and someone would sit right next to me.
Oh, yeah.
Good thing to do, I think.
But after that, I just never went to the Avalon Art Theater again.
Well, the Avalon Art was a special place for you. I do know that. God, I remember back in the day, this was a long time ago. Remember the Franklin Avenue Theater?
No.
Which one?
Franklin was called the Franklin Avenue Theater.
Was that like by the Rialto?
Kind of. Yeah, kind of. There was a bar called the Grizzly Bear or the bear, some kind of bear.
Okay.
You remember that place?
So this would have been on the eastern side of the street.
of
the
Franklin
east
Avenue.
part of the street. Like, I mean, that would be
Yeah,
I
I
know
think.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think that, but that was quite an experience. There's no question about that. You'd go to a movie there and then go across the street to have a drink, and you were not welcome either place.
Gee, I've never experienced that.
Oh, no, not you. I've never seen that happen to you. I don't know. It's kind of weird, isn't it? How people are. Now, let me ask you. We've only got 3 minutes left, but this is, I think, a good time to ask this question because people are as mean or meaner right now than they've ever been. And I'm not just talking about America. I'm talking about it in the world.
No, it's the whole world. Yeah, it's global.
And why everybody's so angry and mean right now? Is it because of the news reports they see?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us do. Just strictly because of politicians.
No, you're absolutely right, Mike. Politicians are the worst people on earth.
And this is how they aggregate power and money.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Dividing us.
Did you ever think you'd see a day when one guy who used to be president might be indicted, and then the guy who is president might be indicted, and then his son might be indicted? It's like, what the hell? Could this have all? This is a good way to close it out. Could that have happened throughout our history, but we just didn't used to go after politicians back in the day?
We had a couple that came pretty close.
Yeah,
it was Nixon after all.
Nixon and Clinton both came very close.
Yeah, they
Well,
did.
we didn't have instant access to every tiny little story and every utterance of everybody. We just didn't have that.
That is
No,
true.
that is
It's a brand new thing.
So that made it even worse. Why do you think, Mike? Do you think it is the politicians and the news media that have pissed everybody off to the point they may never recover?
You know, I don't. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the news media you're talking about cable mostly there, but yeah, I mean that's a moneymaker for some media outlets, and it's a huge moneymaker for politicians. They make a ton of money by dividing people with hatred.
They do.
Hatred is so much more powerful than love.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Why? Isn't that
Sadly.
amazing that it is true, right?
Yeah.
Always has been.
It's unfortunate. All right. Well, that's going to do it for any closing words.
How about happy holidays?
I thought you were going to say F off. I thought for sure you were going to say F off. I did.
I'm in the holiday spirit. I mean, Brittany was here wearing her green Christmas sweater. How
Sure.
could I not be in the holiday spirit?
I suppose you're right.
What day of Hanukkah are we on, or is it
It's
over?
8, isn't it?
8?
I think it might be the last day.
Today's day 8, isn't it? I think. Come on, Gelfand, you're a Jew. Chirp up.
How do you not know?
I did see that some politician, I think it was in Poland, a right-wing politician, what did he do? He destroyed a Hanukkah like with a fire extinguisher or a flamethrower or something. That's making the media right now.
Well, flamethrower would just
Really?
speed Hanukkah up, wouldn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Condense the 8 days down into about 10 seconds.
I can't remember. If you look at Polish politician Hanukkah, it'll come right up.
Hanukkah ends tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow. Okay.
So at sunset tomorrow, it'll be over.
Right.
That'll be it. Okay. There you have. So, yeah, I mean, never mind. This could go on too long. There's no
That is true.
I just don't understand why people are so goddamn mean right now. And I'll close with this story of that the mayor in Boston who did a no whites allowed at the party. People are all pissed off about that. I'm like, who cares what that idiot thinks?
So I just looked that up. Polish politician.
Yeah.
Far left demonstrator at Yale triggered by a Hanukkah menorah. Right. Far right Polish politician in Poland.
There you go. There's the media.
Well,
My God.
It's more than the media, unfortunately. It's about this, rising swell.
It's like reverse horseshoe theory.
Well, if we could just stop being fativists, that would be nice.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So in one paper you're far left, and the other paper you're far right.
Well, two different people.
Well, that's
Oh,
why
it is?
some people I know feel a little uncomfortable these days.
Oh,
when one wall closes in, it's not that bad, but when two, that's a problem.
There's no doubt about it. All right, well, enjoy the rest of your day. We will talk to you tomorrow.
We did it.
Oh,
all that. Got a picture I'm knocking reminds me of this one was before. Every time I hear you sing, reminds me how you talking.